Awesome. We are live. Welcome back to our Friday night live stream. Let me know real quick, Todd, is my audio sounding like it's from my microphone? I just realized it might not be plugged in.
I can't tell. It doesn't really sound like your microphone, though, to be honest with you.
How about now?
There. Say that again. That sounds better.
Testing the sound. Is it better?
That's much better. That's much better.
Much better.
Yay. Okay, very good. Welcome, everyone. Let us know where you guys are hopping on from, as usual, in the live chat box. Hi, Yukon. Hi, Carnivore at 60. Welcome, everybody. As you guys put that in the comments and live chat, I just wanted to quickly announce something very exciting. I just confirmed that this will be happening for World Carnivore Month. Now, do we all know that January is World Carnivore Month? Todd, do you know? Yes. Phil,
my favorite month.
That's right.
Yes. Okay, we all know here. But for those watching, if you don't know what it is, it's just a month to celebrate going carnivore together as a community. Online, obviously. And it's actually created by Dr. Sean Baker when he started speaking about the carnivore diet on the internet. He would go on people's podcasts, talk about how he lives and eats, which is carnivore. And he would say, look, I actually want January to be World Carnivore Month because it's my birthday month. So that's how it all came to be. Sean really wanted his birthday month to be amazing and celebrate something that changed his life, the carnivore diet. So to give back to everything that Dr. Baker has done for our community, I will actually be collaborating with him January World Carnivore Month and doing a 30-day carnivore challenge with Dr. Baker. So it's going to include a lot of meal plans, his recommendations, a weekly guides that he would like to film and give out to all of the challengers so that you guys stay on track. And it's going to have a lot of meetings, a lot of encouragement, and all of the people here in this live right now, Todd, Phil, Raymond, myself, we'll be working closely with the Carnivore Month challengers to make sure everybody is doing their best, especially new people who start carnivore diet for the first time. This challenge is mostly for you guys. And yeah, I just feel so honored that Dr. Baker will be collaborating and leading this challenge. So to join for World Carnivore Month Challenge, the link is in the description box. It's actually the first link right at the top, and it is only happening in January because only January is World Carnivore Month. So if you guys have questions about what it entails or what it's all about, oh, thank you for that. Or you guys can join at sbgmeetup.com. Put your questions in, put your, whatever you guys want to know about this challenge, and we will feel free to answer throughout the live stream as well. Now, Todd will quickly go through what we're doing tonight for our live stream.
Yeah, absolutely. So tonight we're doing a giveaway again, and so we are going to spin the wheel tonight 4 times for 2 1-month free memberships to SBG and 2 $25 Amazon gift cards tonight. And so, as usual, you guys just go to each channel and hit the thumbs up and subscribe on the channels. And then we will give out a hashtag word that you have to comment into the chat, which is going to be the first one as a hint. It's going to be hashtag ribeye, and that'll get you in the drawing. And then we will do those periodically through the stream. Also, if you would put your cues in front of your questions, we're doing a live Q&A, and so as always the super chats take precedent, but we will answer your questions in the order that they come, and if that goes for standard questions and super chats. So
thank you, Todd. So this live stream is all about question and answer. So this is why we do these every single Friday night, is to just answer your guys' questions about carnivore lifestyle, carnivore living. I'm going to answer this question real quick. I just saw it from Dorothy. What does it cost for the challenge? So it is $30. $30 to be a part of the challenge and to get access to all the course material, all the guides, meal plans, meetings with Dr. Baker as well. He usually only visits us for his World Carnivore Month challenge, but this one specifically, he will be very involved in leading it with us. So that's what it costs. Dr. Phil, what are your thoughts on all of this? And what does community mean to you? Would love your thoughts.
Well, to tell you the truth, I was a little skeptical about the value of community. When I first went carnivore, I was 90 days in, realized I was under eating, and I joined SBG a little over a year ago, and it totally changed my life. And I committed it to 120 days, and that was a year ago, and still around. And I find that when we're doing something unique and kind of swimming upstream from the rest of the world, it's very helpful to have people to help find your way to navigate through and to help others. And I think you'll find that the four of us are very committed to helping other people, as all the coaches and moderators in the SBG. And the people in SBG are, even the community is very committed to helping one another in an environment that is off the social platforms where there's so much hatred and mocking and trolling. And it's really fun to be part of a very intelligent community that's doing everything to improve their personal health.
Love it.
Thank you for that, Bill. Yeah, love that. Raymond, did you want to chime in?
Yeah. So, I found out about community early on with Dr. Baker's when I was over there. That's the first community I've ever been on, and it was online. So that was fascinating to learn from others, to learn, and even during that time I was coaching, and, I learned a lot about myself through that whole event. So community is more than just tips and tricks, which there is that too. More than just about learning. It's about kind of like you watch others and you're like, wow, if they can do this, I can too, kind of attitude. And to me, that's one of the great things about community. It gives you that strength that if you have other people that you know fairly well, because I don't know anybody in my life that I haven't turned carnivore personally, that's carnivore. So at least back then. So it was so neat to have this parallel, watching others go through the same exact journey as me. And that is empowering. So as great as information is and all that, but there is some kind of magic about community and a humanity about reaching out to one another.
Absolutely. Yeah. Lindy brought me into SBG and I was like, I don't need no stinking community. Some sissy stuff if I ever heard of it. SBG gang, their logo's pink, for crying out loud.
Right.
That's what I was thinking. And yeah, it was actually the first meeting that I came to. It was an NSV meeting. That's what Lindy brought me into. And I joined an NSV meeting, and it was actually just the first meeting. I was like, I've been an idiot, because I was watching the chat and I was watching everybody talk and all these things that I was wondering if I was crazy for putting these things together, fats causing me problems, wondering, having just all these problems that I've been having for 9 months. Everybody else is having them, but they all had answers to them and they're all working through things. And it only took one meeting and I was like, yeah, I've been being stupid. Of course, this is like, crowdsourcing information with people that don't have an agenda. They're not here to sell me anything. They're all here for the same reason that I am, because we have health problems and we're sick and the food's making us sick. And there's a whole group of people that are, committed to finding a way for like the best motivational reasons, to live and to feel better, not for any other nonsense. And so I realized how dumb I was being, because anywhere else that makes sense, but I don't know why in my head it seemed to be like some weak thing before. But yeah, now, especially, fast forward, what has it been? Fast forward 14, 15 months now in the SBG, and have trying to help people outside that contact me through my Instagram and stuff. It's almost impossible to help them when they're not in a community, because I can talk to them for an hour or two a week, but then they have to go out in the world and they don't have a community of examples of other people where this is normalized. And so they go out there and everybody tells them that this is not normal, and they believe them. I can't, fix that for them in an hour or two a week. So the community is so handy. And I really do think that it is a giant part of, my success. And I think it's got to be for everybody. If you don't surround yourself by people that are being successful and have examples of what this is changing, how life changing it is, it gets really tough.
Yeah, I think the bottom line is when you don't have proof for yourself, you need other people's proof. And that helps tremendously to see success stories and see challenges and watch people overcome. And it's been amazing watching people. I joined in end of October of last year, and to see people that started the same time I did and to see the change in them, the change in their face, the change in their activity, their constitution. It's been pretty incredible. And I just kind of laugh to myself when I see new people join every month. And after day one, it's like, well, I don't know if this is the thing to do. And it's like when you're in a group and you see people that have been around doing this for months to years, maybe you can just hang in there a little longer and wait for it to happen for you too.
Is it me? Have you guys heard that saying, like, if you want to be a millionaire, hang out with a bunch of millionaires?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of the same concept. We want to be good carnivores. We want to be, because we know that's where the style is. We hang out with carnivores. It just makes sense, right? In anything in life, really. We want to be successful at it. We're going to hang out with those people who are like-minded.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And the opposite of that, Raymond, is true too. I mean, when your kid comes home and says a new 4-letter word, the first thing you do is say who you've been hanging with.
Right.
And hopefully they say it's not you, Dad. but it's important who we hang out with. And you're absolutely right. When you hang around winners, you tend to win.
Right.
Love that.
For sure.
Awesome.
Well, I'm honestly just excited to meet all of the new faces, see everybody returning, and most of all, continue working closely with Todd, Phil, Raymond here. Todd, I seriously am so impressed by how you have progressed with your own carnivore journey, because when you first came into SBG, you were just a member, but now you are leading your own meetings. You are inspiring other men as well. So just to see the journey that a lot of our team members walk, because they mostly all do start as members, Dr. Phil included here, is just really inspiring. So that's one of my favorite things to witness, is just our members blossoming, becoming their full potential. So the link is in the live chat, also in the description. Let's jump into the questions now. And throughout this live stream, we will intermittently give out prizes because it is the holidays. I'm going to put up our first one from Carnivore at 60. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you back. So he says, I've lost 207 pounds. I've been carnivore and OMAD, 1 meal a day. That is amazing. Yes, congratulations. Carnivore and OMAD for 17 months. I found out the other day that all my skin cancer is 100% gone. Wow. That is incredible. Congrats. So anyone else know anyone that has cured their skin cancer with carnivore and fasting? Raymond?
I do. I have a client. Does that count? So he's also elderly. I think in his 70s. He's a foot doctor, and he actually used to have these every time he went to the skin doctor, they would find some kind of precancerous stuff. Since when he had carnivore, all that went, and he used to lather himself with sunscreen. And he stopped doing that. He worked at a car dealership, so obviously sun was a big issue. He would cover himself head to toe with the biggest sunblock thing, and he didn't need to do that anymore. It just worked differently for him. So I find that amazing. So it's great to see there are others, and I'm sure there's tons of others.
Yeah, I used to living in Florida. We get a lot of sun exposure, and when I went carnivore, I quit using sunscreen as well, because I wanted to make sure I got enough absorption for my vitamin D levels. And it's interesting. I go to a dermatologist every year, and for about 5 years, I've had to have these precancerous lesions called actinic keratoses frozen. And that was just something I go in, have some of those frozen off of my scalp. And this year, when I went in November, first time in 5 years, I didn't have any to freeze. And it's like incredible. Your skin gets younger with carnivore. And not wearing sunscreen and in that full year. So totally opposite of what you would think. Hey,
Oh my
Phyllis.
gosh.
I'm
Phyllis
glad
is
you're joining us,
here.
Phyllis. That's so
Hi.
sweet of you coming in. Yay.
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
Did
I've
you know
never
that it
done-
was a live stream?
I have never done this before, and I
Say hi to about 300 people, Phyllis.
to about 300 people. My hair.
It was awesome.
Oh my gosh, what an honor to have Phyllis. You look beautiful.
I love that you came in, Phyllis.
Yeah. So, Phyllis, we're currently answering questions. And yes, we would love your input on all of them if you want, of course, but no pressure. But you're here. So, I will be giving you these questions as well. The first one is on the screen, but I'm going to have Todd answer it first, and then we'll get to you. It's all about curing skin cancer with carnivore and or fasting. So, Todd, have you seen anyone or know anyone?
I haven't personally seen anybody, but I have, I've seen such, to me, it just makes sense that would happen because I've seen such changes in my personal skin and my brother's skin. We both used to burn just immediately, and now we don't. And I used to have that, I think you call it plaque psoriasis crap all over my forehead and around my nose, and on my ears. I used to have skin that was drying out and just falling off all the time. And since carnivore, it took about 7 months, and then my skin started to heal. And since my skin healed up, I don't even burn anymore. I tan. It's the craziest thing. Yeah. So I don't know what causes skin cancer. That's not my thing, but it sure feels to me like my skin's so much healthier, and it feels like this skin would be a lot less likely to have skin cancer than the skin that I had my entire life before carnivore.
I love that you brought up the part where you don't burn anymore, because for a lot of people who don't know about this really cool benefit, when you cut out the seed oils and you go carnivore, a lot of us actually report back, and I thought I was the only one, but I've learned that a lot in the community actually do report saying, yes, I agree. I can confirm as well that I don't burn anymore in the sun. And this is without sunblock, without SPF or sunscreen. Okay. So people now can go carnivore, eat only meat, cut out the seed oils, and their skin is more resilient to the sunlight, which is actually how our skin is supposed to be. We should not be burning under sunlight. We should be able to absorb that vitamin D, that sunlight, and turn into vitamin D, which is a hormone, by the way, in our body, because our diet is supporting this process. And yeah, I can confirm that I felt that benefit as well. Phyllis, do you know anyone that has helped their skin condition or maybe even cured skin cancer?
I don't know anybody who's cured skin cancer. I know my own skin has gotten better. Okay, I'm not out in the sun getting burned, but even if I burn myself with taking stuff out of the oven, it doesn't blister. It's like it hurts for a second and it's the next day it's gone. So it heals quickly. I have very, very dry skin that it would crack and bleed. My hands would, and it doesn't happen anymore.
Oh, wow. Yep.
My rheumatologist is very excited when he looks at my hands because they're actually soft, where before they were cracking and bleeding. So
that says a lot.
Definitely makes a difference. And I know that keto helps with cancer. I can't imagine that going one step further by going carnivore is not going to help. So
agreed. Yeah,
For
it's so
sure.
exciting because there's more and more research and studies being done on a ketogenic diet and a carnivore diet. And I think I just saw a video on Dr. Barry's channel where he talked about like some recent research supporting that a ketogenic diet helps cure cancer, or at least helps with cancer. So that's very exciting. For everybody in this live stream or watching the playback, I would love to know if you have seen a resilience to sunlight after going carnivore. So, do you currently still burn under sunlight? Or have you seen that your skin may be improved a little bit when exposed to sunlight? Let's all share our experiences in the comments. All righty. Oh, hello, Jeffrey. Welcome. Thank you so much. Jeffrey Cox says, Dr. Phil, 3 months carnivore, started with a 20-day water fast. Recent ultrasound showed fatty liver still, DM2 HTN-OSA, and arthritic pain gone. I'm just surprised that liver still showing streaks. Any thoughts?
Yeah. So congratulations. Type 2 diabetes, hypertension, obstructive sleep apnea, all gone, and arthritis gone. That's incredible healing. Now, when you're diabetic and you have fatty liver, some of that insulin and the glycogen actually crystallizes in your liver, and it can take months to clear out. But the liver has an incredible ability to heal. And you've done some incredible healing in 3 months. And it'll be incredible. I think it'll be really nice to hear, Jeffrey, how you've done here a year from now and after 1 year on carnivore. So just stay persistent. You'll continue to get healing. It's variable for everyone. It really depends how long you were diabetic, how long you had sleep apnea, how long was your body bombarded with these illnesses that have now resolved and they're in your past. And just stay carnivore. And I would follow up in a year, and hopefully you'll see improvement and get your liver test done in a year, and a good chance that they'll be normalized by then. And I wouldn't worry too much about any minor streaks that might be there right now, because it's probably already healing. It's just not detectable by ultrasound.
He says he's a 55-year sugar addict.
Yeah, you've
earned. That's that quick.
Yeah, Jeffrey, can you believe changing 55 years in just 3 months? That's
incredible.
That's pretty incredible.
Very hopeful.
That's awesome. Congrats, Jeffrey. Thank you so much.
That's awesome,
Jeffrey. Great job. Great job.
And then
great job.
Carnivore at 60 also said,
"Oh, SBG has played a huge part in my recovery. Thanks all. Well, we are honored. That really is the goal. Yeah, keep sharing, keep going on your progress. Yeah,
Carnivore at 60 has an awesome YouTube channel you guys should go check out too, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Hey, that's awesome. Is that his channel name, Carnivore at 60?
Yep.
Perfect. All right, guys, let's all go support our fellow carnivore community members. He has a channel, Carnivore at 60. Go and subscribe. Perfect.
That's awesome.
All right, Mrs. Hooligan. Can recurring cysts possibly be a sign of oxalate dumping? Anyone want to take this one first?
Yeah, I'll take it again.
Sure.
Cysts are probably not due to oxalate. They're almost always due to inflammation. There is some association with iodine deficiency as well. And you might want to look at Dr. Brownstein's book on that, on iodine. But if you're talking about fairly good sized cysts, that's probably not oxalate in and of itself, in my opinion.
I don't know that I've ever had a cyst, so I don't. I have no idea, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Well, there's lots of different types of cysts, and I assume she's talking about probably sebaceous cyst or cyst occur right under the skin.
Okay. Well, she says thank you. Hopefully that was helpful. Oh, let me put Cranky Carnivore Cutler's comment here. I had a cyst on my face that cleared up months before experiencing oxalate dumping. So that one goes to show it could have nothing to do with oxalate dumping, but it will clear up. Looks hopeful. Awesome. Let's keep going.
All right.
Lily. Hi, Lily. I've been at Carnivore for 2 weeks today. Congrats. That's awesome. I've been seeing so many things saying carnivore is really bad for you. I really don't know what to do. I want to lose weight, but not tank my health. See, that's just so discouraging when people come either in my messages, emails, or in our meetings and saying, oh my gosh, I'm having second thoughts about carnivore because so-and-so told me about this latest study that red meat kills you or red meat's bad for you, right? It's hard to cancel out the noise when this noise is coming from your family, friends, and inner circle, like real life people. So let's go around the table. Let's share how we dealt with these things. Share any stories, guys, or what helped you get through those initial, things thrown at your way. So Raymond, you want to start?
Yeah, I had such a bad experience at first, because I'm one of those inquisitive types. I wanted to hear all the opinions, and I had a lot of coworkers that I talked to, and all of them had a story about how carnivore was bad. Even some people that they knew or they heard of, all of that kind of stuff. And and I talked to my doctor and my nurses, and it's the same story. And I think I might have seen a post on that, and they were like, the only way to find out is just to try it. And when I did, it's like you can't unknow that. It's almost like everybody could lie to you, and you actually do the process, and you're like, wait a minute, this is not my case. And I felt it. Once I felt it, although I did go off again because my blood works was actually worse at first. A lot of things were worse at first, which is normal if you find that out. And then because I didn't have information or community to swing this by. So I learned that, afterwards that, hey, this wasn't in my mind. The problem is when you start feeling good, you just know it, and you're like, it's hard to explain to other people that, but I'm feeling a lot better, doc. Oh, and my sister even said something like, oh, you're feeling better because there's this symptom that people feel really good right before they die, and of course that scares you too, and you're like, what the heck? So
that is crazy.
I've never heard that. I've never heard that. People feel better before they die.
Like right before they die. So.
I think that's maybe in Hollywood in a movie.
Yeah,
like they get their last win, like that last forever thing to say goodbye to everyone. You're right. It's probably for movies, right?
What?
But either way, that's what I got, and I was like, oh, maybe, because you doubt yourself, right? So I'm just letting you know that, the doubters are there. I could tell you the best solution for this is join a community, because we can all share all of our scary stories that we've heard from all these other naysayers. And then we can actually say, hey, this is what we went through. This is our experience. I'm 7 years in, guys. And there's no way I would ever leave this carnivore diet because it's done so much for me. And I'm not talking about just pictures. I'm talking about everything.
Absolutely. Love that, Raymond, and hilarious. Okay, has anybody heard that? I have to see in the live chat. If anyone also has heard that right before you pass away, you have this second win, or you suddenly feel so good. Let me know if you've heard that. That's ridiculous.
Cranky Cutler has this. It's called the Surge. There it is.
The Surge from Grey's Anatomy. It comes shortly before
it must be true.
Right? It's Grey's Anatomy, of course. Right? It must be. Right.
Why is it that a Grey's Anatomy episode carries long enough that many people have told Raymond about it, but Carnivore couldn't possibly be right with all the anecdotal evidence because it didn't come, I mean, that's what's so crazy about it,
That is.
Yeah. You know, I have shepherded so many people through death, and as a physician, and I've just never seen that. I mean, there's people that are joyful that they're going to end their suffering, but it's not like they get a surge of energy. And I mean, when people are ready to go, you can tell it, and I can usually tell it within 48 hours. And there's no surge involved. It's you pretty much can see that. So I don't know. So you know, it's hard to see testimony like we just heard from Jeffrey. 3 months and his type 2 diabetes, his hypertension, his arthritis, his obstructive sleep apnea have all resolved in 3 months as a carnivore. And you know, what joy to see that. And we see this over and over again. I resolved metabolic syndrome in 4 months. And it's just, I understand. I've had friends that have said, "Oh, I want to do carnivore," and they quit after 2 days. And they'll tell me, "Oh, someone told me that eating animal fat's going to kill me, so I quit."
I hear that all the time.
And it doesn't surprise me at all. And it's the good thing about having people that say that is they usually unload a bunch of free meat and to me and say, "I'm not going to eat this, so do you want it?" And just the other day I was at a party and somebody gave me like 10 pounds of pork belly and she said, "Oh, my husband and I, we didn't like it." And my wife, who's not carnivore, said, "Well, obviously you didn't prepare it right, because when Phil makes it, it's excellent."
This isn't a carrot.
And I just laughed. But it's so true. I just feel bad for people that fall prey to the negative thinking of other people.
The fear.
Yeah. But you
Well,
see,
if it
as
works, that's 30 years, I'm good, right?
Yeah.
That's the way we should look at it. So, anyways, sorry.
let me let Todd share his thoughts, and then Phyllis, and then I'll quickly share my thoughts. I see a lot of questions coming in. Okay, let's go. Todd, go first.
I mean, just the short of it is, at first, I didn't care what anybody thought because I was literally dying. So I really didn't care what anybody said or thought because I was trying to live. And then later down the road, you know, just the comparison of what I had personally healed up, how much better I felt. The fact that, you know, I used to go to bed hoping I wouldn't wake up in the morning because it was just sickening, to now not, you know, now death is the furthest worry or thought from my mind because I feel so good. And the fact that I watched my dad follow the rules and try to eat, you know, vegetables and salads and a low-fat diet to heal his diabetes, and it killed him. And the fact that, you know, it's clear to me that there's something wrong with the way that we treat disease. And it didn't matter. It didn't matter to me when people were telling me I was doing it wrong, because I seen what was supposed to be right. And it just caused Dad and my brother Ty to both die young and in pain. So at this point, I'd lost all faith in it. So I didn't really care, you know?
Yeah. And I think anyone that looks at Todd's before and after pictures, if Todd would have stayed on the course he was on, he wouldn't be alive today. And
for sure.
Exactly.
It's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
He was on oxygen 100% of the time and just was very, very ill.
Yeah.
And he's totally turned around.
For sure.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Going to Arizona.
Yes, and he's coming to Arizona with us. Well, Todd went to Texas earlier this year. Todd was about to go to Australia with me, but he got busy. But he will definitely come to Arizona, which we should actually shout out the Arizona meetup. It is hosted by Adam and Carrie. Yeah. They are the creators of Healing Humanity. And Todd, do you want to talk about what this meetup is going to be all about?
It's awesome. Yeah, it's awesome. Healing Humanity. Healing Humanity is a awesome group that's in charge of the Healing Humanity, the Power of a Proper Human Diet documentary that Carrie and Adam are making. And these meetups for Healing Humanity are fundraisers to help fund the documentary, which they're doing a fantastic job. And
Yep.
yeah, and so I can't say who, but they're also filming somebody very exciting in Arizona while they're down there. So yeah, it's gonna be fantastic for the documentary, and it's coming out here shortly. I think sometime in 2025 we'll be seeing it.
Yes. Oh, I see a lot of you guys saying in the live chat that you'll be in Arizona. I can't wait to hang out and meet you guys in person. That is so exciting. I guess Arizona is a much more accessible place for the carnivore community, at least here in the States. Because when I went to Australia and I would talk about it in the live streams, it wasn't as many live chat messages saying, I'll be there, I'll see you guys there. So let me link it. It's in the live chat, and I'll also put it in the description box for people watching the playback. It is on January 4th. Okay, 2025, top of the year, January 4th in Arizona. Details are in the links. Now, Phyllis, share your thoughts on people scaring you about carnivore diet.
Okay, so this is my second time around with carnivore. The first time I did it for 3 years. My sister was calling me every single day, crying that I was killing myself. I used to say I could have gotten hit by a bus and they'd have said I died from being carnivore. I finally caved to all the peer pressure and stopped. Meanwhile, I had had a whole lot of healing during that time, that 3 years on carnivore. And of course, once I quit, everything came back. When I started carnivore again this time, I was a closet carnivore. I told my doctors I was doing very low carb, high fat. I was doing keto. That they accepted. My family, when I finally, because I started doing some healing, I had gone from having to use a walker and a cane just to get around my condo, being pushed in a wheelchair out when we were doing social things publicly so I could keep up, to being able to walk. I was getting rid of all my medications. And so I told my family that I was doing carnivore under the care of 3 of my doctors, that they all knew about it. And as long as my doctors knew and were supervising and seeing me all the time, my family stepped back. Now, my doctors didn't know I was doing carnivore. They were just watching the medication going down and me improving and wondering what was happening. When I finally did tell the doctors, when they were saying, oh, look, you're doing so good, it must be this or this, I said, nope. And I told them I was doing carnivore. They're just amazed. They just keep documenting and working together with each other and asking me questions all the time. The main thing to remember when your family and friends are coming at you, they're doing it out of love. It may not be the kind of love that you need, but in their mind, that's what they're doing. So, yeah, I mean, even if they were to still come at me at this point in my life, I wouldn't stray from carnivore, because I am totally mobile without assistance, no pain without pain medication. I went from 27 pills to now I take 4 pills a day. And one of them is a vitamin D, so I don't even count that for real. But so, yeah, I'm sorry, I kind of went off a little bit, but
No.
yeah. Just let them think, tell a little white lie. White lies are good. Let them know tell them your doctors know, even if they don't. And your doctors don't have to know everything. You're not working for them. They're working for you. So
I love that. Some tough love from Phyllis tonight. What an honor.
That's what happens when you surprise me.
I was just going to give them a reminder that get in this entry. It's for a $25 Amazon gift card. If you guys just go and you hit the thumbs up and you subscribe to the channel that you're on, and then you type in hashtag ribeye into the chat, you'll get 1 entry. If you go for every channel you go to, you get another entry. So you can do it on Bella's channel, you can do it on Raymond's channel, you can do it on my channel. But every time you do it, you get another entry, and then we will be drawn here shortly once we get a few more people in here.
Perfect. So let me just recap how to enter for a $25 gift card. Just type hashtag ribeye in the live chat that you are in currently. If you want, you can hop around to everybody's channels for that extra entry. So hashtag ribeye and you'll be automatically entered.
Right. And you have to be subscribed to that channel to be entered once you hit the chat. And then that'll put you in there. So, and also the links, if you want to hop around to the channels to get more, are in the description of this video. So perfect.
So does it have to all be caps still?
No,
Yes,
it can be
does.
caps.
Oh, wait, no.
Well, actually, we found out it can be caps or not. It doesn't matter.
Cool.
Okay, great.
Okay, great.
Right.
Oh, I'm seeing a lot. Good job, guys, typing it correctly. Yes. So all caps, no caps doesn't matter, but do the hashtag. Great.
Right on.
Oh, Nav, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you. Thank you. So Nav says, was doing 2 meals a day. My first meal, I cannot eat a lot for some reason. In my second meal, I can eat a lot more. Now I'm doing 1 meal a day and I eat like the same amount as the first meal, like if I was doing 2 meals a day. So not a lot of food. Is this problematic? So what he's saying here, I'll break it down. He wants to know if it's problematic if he just ate 1 meal a day and only the amount that he typically would eat in his first meal of a 2-MAD day. So that's really like a third of what he's eating for his OMAD. That's what are your thoughts, Raymond? You go first.
Yeah, so I want to say there's a little trick on that. So, most of the time it's all about the eating window. So on the 2-MAD, usually I hear a lot of people eating big first and the second meal smaller. So it's interesting that you're reversed. What it is that if you want an OMAD to be successful, you can give 1 to 2 hours of block of window. So you can have 2 meals during that time if you feel like you're not eating enough. And the question I would have is, how do you know you're eating enough? Are you feeling sluggish? Are you feeling low energy? Are you feeling moody? All of those are signs that you're not eating enough. There's a lot more, but I'll just go with the basics. And the answer to that, if you want to keep OMAD for long term, and that's your objective, then have it in a window of time. I recommend 1 hour to 2 hours.
So you're saying within that 1 hour, or if they choose to do 2-hour eating window, they can just eat all throughout the 2 hours?
You can do. That's another great answer. But, you could have like the meal at the top of the hour, at the bottom of the hour, have your second meal, and if you know you're eating the second meal bigger, then that's what you got.
Yep. Love it. Anyone else want to give thoughts for Nav?
Well, I had to just force it down for about 2 months, and they were right. I knew what they meant by saying "eat until you hate Raymond." I had to do that, but it did work. It did work in spades actually. After 2 months, and then I went from eating 1.25 pounds to 1.5 pounds of meat a day to eating 7 pounds of meat a day, which is crazy still to think about. And it worked, and my appetite opened up, and that's when things healed. So. I definitely, and now since doing the priming and going through kind of the priming boot camp, I've reused that several times to boost my metabolism when it was getting a little low from too much fasting, and it's worked every time. But it's hard work every time too. Eating when you don't want to eat, getting up early, eating, not feeling hungry for a few weeks at a time is kind of rough. But it definitely has worked for me. So I would say, hang in there because it does get better, Yeah.
I would love to share that, Nav, since you're a guy. I feel like when it comes to OMADs, and she's a female and she's asking about, is OMAD going to work for me? Is OMAD going to get me to my weight loss? I always feel a little bit more hesitant to recommend OMADs for females versus males, because female hormones are just different than male hormones. And we do have to prioritize eating enough and eating plenty of fat much more than a typical man on a carnivore diet. Obviously, it's going to depend person to person, right? What are you trying to heal? What is your history? But if you were a female, then I would definitely say, look, you really have to make sure you are truly eating enough and eating enough fat, not just protein. during your OMADs, especially if you're trying to do OMAD for a long stretch of time. And I'm speaking from experience. There was a period of time where I was eating OMADs for, a long phase. I was loving it. I felt like I was, at my sweetest spot. I figured out what worked for me. It was amazing. And I would just eat one meal a day every day. But what tends to happen is you get so comfortable eating one meal a day for that long as a woman. You get super productive. You get busy, right? Life gets in the way. And you are actually long term slowly down regulating your metabolism and you don't even know it. And there are signs to look out for. I can go into detail if you guys want, or if you want, Nav, you can just request, but I won't. But that's just something that I have to say for women watching this live stream and considering, oh, I want to do OMAD and I want to do it for a long time. There are things that you do have to worry about that men don't. Thoughts, Raymond? I see you were
Totally agree.
Yeah.
I love that you say that. Actually, even when women do rolling 48s, I really don't recommend that for women. Although alternate day fasting for a certain amount of time works really well for women. So OMAD seems to be kind of like the limbo, right? It's just enough to eat, but just enough to undereat after a long period of time. So knowing that, you got to strategize it right. Even if you have the trick of doing the 2-hour window, first of all, nobody follows the 2-hour window because they're like, oh, I just want to eat just to get it over with. So they don't give themselves enough time to actually eat. So, and because you're right, exactly. You're doing it for consistently. Eventually, you're going to be like, forget that. So then what happens is you're going to undereat.
So to be honest, I was doing OMAD just for the sake of, wow, I get so much of my life back without having to sit down and eat. So I'm for sure an A-type personality where if I find a hack that can give back time to me or maybe up my productivity or efficiency, mental clarity, I'm all for it. But then as an A-type personality speaking here, it's also that much more susceptible for me to push it. So that's why I always say, look, I love people who love fasting on carnivore. There's not a lot of us here, but it's a double-edged sword for sure. Dr. Phil, any thoughts?
Well, I just think that we get into
never
trouble
mind.
doing anything for a
What?
There's just a lag.
Can you not hear me?
We got you now. There was a lag there for a minute.
Okay. Yeah, I just think that doing the same thing consistently for any time period can be problematic for most of us. We get into kind of homeostasis of our metabolism. And I'm kind of in the theory to mix it up quite a bit and to do different things to keep your metabolism kind of on the edge a little bit. So we see a lot of people that do OMADs for a long time. They come in, they've stayed stalled for a few months. And one of the first things we do is get them to eat more for the short term. And that seems to help. So, but at the end of the day, people can do what they wanted to do as long as they're getting results.
I love that. That's so true, is just doing something for way too long. There is the whole logic and truth to keep your body guessing. Like, don't get to a spot where your body knows exactly what you're about to do. You do it every single day. And I'm specifically talking about your fasting schedule, your approach with intermittent fasting. With carnivore, you can be carnivore every single day. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you have to keep it up, switch it up by doing animal-based a couple days of the week or keto or add in plants. Not at all. I'm specifically talking about eating window and intermittent fasting. But we'll wrap it up for Nav on that. Yeah. Thank you, Phil. And let's keep going. Jimmy Joe, thank you so much. New member here. Welcome to the community.
Welcome.
61. Yes. Yeah. Awesome. 61 years old. I have a pig valve due to a birth defect. What is a pig valve?
It's a heart valve. Heart valve.
Okay. Due to a birth defect, paleo worked after my heart surgery, but lately doctors have been trying to put me on statins. Okay, I'm guessing his question is then, what are our thoughts on statins and if he should take the statins? Phil, you should take this first.
Yeah, it really depends on what you're trying to achieve with statins. If you have a cardiovascular diagnosis where statins have been effective, that's certainly may be beneficial for you. It has to be looked at individually, but many people are taking statins for just their LDL cholesterol. And there's a lot of evidence that you don't need to take it just because your LDL cholesterol is high. So you really need to look at your risk factors individually. Recently, I went on a statin for 2 years because I have a lesion in the bifurcation of an artery that they can't do anything about. And I'm doing a 2-year N of 1 experiment to take advantage of the statin for what we call the pleiotropic effects. And Raymond and Bella and I did an review recently that should explain what you think. It may be helpful to you.
Yes. And that interview will be posted on my channel very soon. Awesome. Let's keep going. Nikki, good to see you. She's in SPG and in the Butter Club too. Nikki says, hi guys, how can we clear out seed oils faster? That's interesting. So like, is there a way to detox and push it out of our bodies faster? Do you have ideas?
Yeah, I mean, it's crowding it out. Eat more fat. I mean, animal fat.
Oh, eating more fat?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, I've actually heard you talk multiple times in meetings about detox protocols using charcoal. Do you want to talk about that as maybe an option? And if you don't think it's recommended, say that as well.
No, it's not recommended for getting fats out. That's more, any toxins, any acute toxins out. And I do like using that for that modality, but Dr. Phil would be best for that. So on that idea.
Well, it's interesting because we see that things like I had a folliculitis that I had treated for years, and I had to take doxycycline 1 month out of every 3 for a folliculitis on my scalp. And as soon as I went carnivore, that included eliminating seed oils, that went away immediately. And we see people with a lot of dermatologic conditions that improve in 2 weeks to 3 months. So I think your body will naturally clear it out if you're eating animal fats and just avoiding the seed oils. So I think you really hit on the right answer, is eat more animal fat, because the body will process fat that you feed it and remove through autophagy what's in you and as you detox. So I just think you need to give yourself what we in medicine call tincture of time, and make sure you just don't consume any seed oils so that your body will take the preferential animal fats and utilize them in your metabolism.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, for me, I think I cleared the seed oils out pretty quick just by eating a ton. Like I was just metabolizing all of my 5 pounds of meat that I was eating every day and the sticks of butter that I was eating every day. So this is not saying that you need to eat nearly as much as me, because I understand that I'm probably 1 out of 1,000 when it comes to somebody who eats this much or who needs that much food when they were healing. But Nikki, I know your journey. You're doing amazingly. I would just up the fats, really up the fats. Yeah.
Butter.
Instead of eating the seed oils, stop. And one step further, start eating the animal fats, the right types of fats. Okay. Hopefully that was helpful.
This is just kind of a spin-off of. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Todd.
Oh, no, I was just going to say this was a spin-off of this conversation here.
Oh, Mia. Yes, the Butter Club. I should explain. So the Butter Club was created specifically for our carnivore teenagers. young adults. So I cap it off for up to age 35. And this is not to exclude everyone. Please don't see it that way. Just some context. When we do meetings in SBG, Steak and Butter Gang, we have a lot of families who come in. Okay. And they're saying things like, oh, I just wish, Bella, like you did more videos or you did meetings specifically for teenagers and young adults. So that's exactly why I created Butter Club, is to create a safe place and that exciting community for our future generation, really, to make sure that they are up to par, they get the support that they need. And another example, I met this wonderful carnivore family, Johnny and her husband, when we moved to Las Vegas. We had a wonderful lunch with them in person, and she has 8 kids. 8 kids, okay, that she homeschools. And I met one of her sons, and he is thriving, coming to the Butter Club meetings, being able to hang out with fellow teens and young adults. So really that's the vibe that the Butter Club is all about, just fostering a nice community for those members of our community. Yeah. So I'll just put the link in the live chat. It is free, and you just have to be under 35. Don't take it the wrong way. If you're above 35, that's what the Steak and Butter Gang is for. Okay, great.
Awesome.
All right. Jimmy Joe, also, how do you all feel about butter coffee? I never say y'all because I feel like I don't deserve to say that. It feels so foreign in my mouth. You all.
Y'all.
I got to bring you a hat, and then you'll be fine.
There it is.
You're right. So yeah, how do you guys feel about butter coffee? Let's start with Todd.
I don't drink coffee. I think the butter's fine though. But no,
Right.
honestly, I did I haven't had anything but water in 23 months, and I am much better off for it. There's just so many things that healed up by not having the caffeine. My sleep pattern got a lot better. My energy in the morning got a lot better. My stomach digestion and gut microbiome got a lot better, and my hunger opened up. So with that in mind, I don't do any of the coffee, but I know that some people do, and I know that that's controversial. But for me, I'm just really happy with the results where I'm at, so I don't mess with it, to be honest with you.
Good for you. Yeah, that's great. Raymond, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, you know my thoughts about coffee already, but besides that, the butter coffee, I would even put that, if you're insistent on it, to do it as a dessert. But the butter can be an issue because it can be rendered in that coffee because it's very hot. So that does affect some people. So just be aware of that. So the rest is your own experiment. Yeah. I gave up coffee a long time ago, but it was really affecting my cortisol. Again, coffee is something that actually affects some people differently. So yeah, be aware of that too. What I would say, if you're just starting out the carnivore diet, try it as a dessert, and then later on see if it helps you or hinders you. And some people have even quit coffee altogether because they've done it as a dessert.
Yeah. Anyone else want to share their thoughts? Phyllis, do you do butter coffee?
Phyllis.
I love butter coffee. Okay.
There we go. Yes.
Good.
Why?
I drink it after my meal. Okay.
Right.
And it's not most of the time it's either decaf or half calf. I don't use the full caffeine thing. But yes, but build up to it slowly, because otherwise not only may you not be able to leave the house, you may not be able to leave the bathroom. Okay.
Good.
just
Great point.
Everybody takes their phone in there now. Just plan on living in there till you get adapted. But yes, I love it.
That's so cool. Phyllis, do you use salted butter in your coffee or unsalted?
It depends on my mood.
Oh,
whoa.
And there are some times that I'll do black coffee with just salt in it. So I like, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Phil, do you do butter coffee at all?
I do not.
Okay. Yeah. So there we go. Hopefully that gives a well-rounded view of butter coffee to you, Joe. Real quick, everybody in this live stream, who here drinks butter coffee or who here drinks coffee, and share your experiences with this whole concept. All right, Nav, thank you so much. Since I started carnivore, I always have to get up to pee at night. Never was an issue before carnivore, even though I drink less water now. Advice. So before we go into the advice, who here, and you guys can raise your hands. Raise your hand if you peed more or peed during the night for the first time after going carnivore, like initially.
Yeah, initially. Sure. Foamy too.
It must
foamy
be like an electrolyte balance thing where, the electrolytes in our body have to go through something during adaptation where we pee more. Because I hear this a lot. It could just be an adaptation. But Raymond, how did you deal with it when you peed a lot?
I didn't. I just let it go through. I mean, it just started getting mine was actually foamy urine at that right after. So
oxalate dumping.
Yeah, whatever it was, but it was very foamy. And then eventually it just, and at night, the weird thing is, right, at night, during the day it wasn't foamy. At night it was. So I have no idea. Just the time, just, it didn't bother me. I was like, I just got up and peed and went back to bed. So I was just so glad that I could sleep a lot better, So even that waking me up was no big deal, because I just could never get myself to sleep. I was wired, tired kind of person.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Todd?
Yeah, I pee like clockwork every morning at about 3:15. And so I just changed my schedule. I started going to bed earlier, and now I wake up at 3:15 in the morning. I don't go back to bed.
Nice trick.
Yeah, and I'm actually loving it, because I'm so much more productive when I do that. Because if I try to go back to bed and I fall asleep, then I don't feel good. And I realize that it's actually, I think it's I think whatever the cortisol dawn phenomenon is it causes me to have to pee. I don't know why, but it seems to. So I was tired of fighting those two things. And so I just started getting up, and I love it, because it gives me plenty of time to get a workout in the morning before I go to work. It has plenty of time to, get everything done, and I show up early, and I just start going to bed earlier. And on carnivore, I feel really good at about 5 hours of sleep. I feel just fine.
That's another really cool benefit that we don't talk about enough, is just needing less sleep in general. I went from needing like 10 to 12 hours a night to now needing about 7. I still need quite a bit, but 7 versus 10 to 12 is a big change. Todd, so what time do you wake up in the morning?
I wake up at about 3:15 every morning. Yeah.
Wow. And you just start your day at 3:15.
Yeah, I get up, I pee, and then I'm like, okay, well, we're here, and I just hop in the shower, and then I feel great. But I've been trying to go to bed by like 9. It doesn't always happen, but I usually am in bed by like 10 or 10:30, and that's plenty. Even 10:30 to 3:15 to 3:30 in the morning is perfect. I feel fantastic. Yeah,
that's really cool.
If I go to bed at midnight and I try to get up and pee at 3:15 and then go back to bed, it ruins my whole day. Like, I am so tired, and something's off. So yeah, I love it, actually.
That's great. Well, Nav, I think we can all agree that this is not too big of an issue where you have to like do anything different. If it's okay, just give it some more time. Even if you get up every night to pee, it typically will go away, according to Raymond, if it's part of adaptation.
Lesson, for sure, lesson. By the way, just to say, it's happened to me while I'm fasting, dry fasting. So just to say that, whenever I guess we're getting rid of stuff, it goes through that time period. I have no idea why it doesn't. So.
But then another obvious advice is just don't drink like 2 to 3 hours before bed. Or don't. Really? Okay, never mind.
Like I said, dry fasting. I'll dry fast, and then still I go. So I was like, what? That doesn't make sense. Wait, what about you, Todd? When you were dry fasting, would you notice the same thing?
Oh yeah, I didn't pee near as much when I was dry fasting.
But did you pee at the 3 a.m.?
Yeah, I still not all the time, but most of the time I still did. Yeah, it depended on, but yeah, I would still pee in the morning for sure. Right around that's why I think it must be some sort of dawn phenomenon thing.
I agree.
That triggers it.
Yeah. Phyllis, any thoughts on this one? Checking in.
Don't fat cells hold water And as the fat cells are getting smaller, they release water.
Whooshing.
The whooshing
So,
effect.
yeah, could that be happening during the night? I would like to think I get up for a reason.
Like,
I
"Ooh,
guess
fat
it
loss."
happens to you too. Yeah, that's right. Fat loss. Just think it's fat loss. There you go. I love
Hey,
it.
that's
I
very
know
possible
it
for
has
now.
gotten less. It's gotten
I'm
less.
gonna use that. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. The whoosh effect is, for those new here, is just that initial huge decrease in inflammation, which translates to a big drop in your weight because you're basically just losing all that water weight on your body and inflammation. And so it has to come out somewhere, right? So you're peeing a lot, because it just has to come out. So that's another possibility. Good point, Phyllis. Thank you.
Love
Sure.
All right. Let's keep going.
And
Melanie's
popped-
here. Oh my
popped
gosh.
out.
Hi, Melanie.
And then she popped
Yay.
it.
Yes. Join us
Oh,
soon.
hi. Long time no see for
We miss
sure.
you.
Did you know? I'm pretty sure Melanie's coming on the cruise. You can confirm. Dr. Wiedemann's Carb Sober Cruise is what it's called. I will be on that cruise with Steak and Butter Guy, my husband. So I'm very much looking forward to vacationing with Dr. Wiedemann, Fred Hahn, one of her guests, and of course, everybody who's going to be there. We can all get some sunlight, eat lots of meat together, and enjoy the cruise. So it is linked in the description box, by the way, if you guys want to hop on this cruise with us.
That's awesome.
Good to see you, Melanie.
All right. Let's see. Should we do a quick
Ooh,
$25 gift card? All right.
Almost 200.
Yes, giveaway time.
There we go.
Right, drum roll.
Bum, bum, bum. I hope we don't win. I accidentally commented to make sure that I was correct. There we go. Groovy
Yay!
Lisa.
Oh my gosh, Groovy Lisa. If you're here to redeem your prize, all you have to do is screenshot so that we know it's from you, right, Todd? Screenshot
Yep.
her screen. Yeah.
Yep. Screen.
And
Yep. From
then,
inside the YouTube app or your YouTube profile. Yep.
okay, take that screenshot and just email that screenshot to sbgchallenge@gmail.com. I'll type it in the live chat for all the winners in this live. Email that screenshot and you will be able to claim your prize from tonight. Emails
That's
in the
awesome.
chat. Great.
All right. Next drawing is going to be for a membership to SBG Gang, a 1 month free membership, and we're going to do hashtag ribeye again. So go ahead and
Keep
like all the channels. Yep, keep it simple. Do hashtag ribeye, and we'll be drawing that here shortly. All right. And then let's see. I want to make sure I didn't miss any supers. All right.
Awesome. Lily, I've been carnivore. Ooh, let me see. Did we do this? Yes, we did.
We did this one.
We did that one. Mhm.
There we go.
Kenton, welcome, Kenton. Will these Friday live streams be available on SBG Playback later? Yes, absolutely. And I'll just tell you guys real quick how to watch these playbacks. All of our YouTube Friday night live streams post right after the live ends as a playback. It's basically just a YouTube video after it ends. And you can watch the live streams to all of our past Friday lives that we've ever done just by going to everybody's channels here. So if you're on Todd's channel, go to Todd's channel and click on the live tab on his YouTube channel. And you can watch all of the lives he's ever done, which, by the way, is such a gold mine. It's such a hack for anyone who wants to learn about carnivore and get to know so many great carnivores on YouTube. Go to their lives tab, watch their live streams, especially Todd. Because Todd, you have some awesome lives. Do you want to talk about what you do on your live tab?
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, on Sundays for the last 14 months, we do a live called 700 Plus and Counting Down, which is me, Lindy, and Michael, and it's all about about weight loss there for carnivore. And then we do these every Friday, and then also we get on quite a few periodic live streams, and also we are now doing a Thursday live with Healing Humanity group over there as well. So yeah, there's hundreds of lives over there under the live tab, and we'd love to see you guys over there. So
yep, live streams are a big thing in the carnivore community, so take advantage of them. Perfect.
For sure. All right.
All right, Shane, welcome. Is there a reason that I am still gaining weight 20 days into the challenge and I know not to weigh, okay, but it's hard not to. Gotcha. So he's gaining weight still 20 days into the challenge. I'll start with you, Raymond, for Shane.
Yeah. So Shane, look, this is a long term. First of all, the most important thing on a carnivore diet is to nourish your body. I know a lot of people don't like this. They think, oh, I should just be shaving off weight like crazy because we've seen it so many times. That is the case. It just depends on how many issues you have. So that's why we say don't weigh yourself. Apparently, you've gotten that message and you're probably listening to us, which is great. But as far as reasons to still gain weight during that time, it's just you're not nourished enough that the body can hold itself and go to that period where you're not needing to eat as much. And even periods of fasting becomes natural. So I think just listen to your body, allow it to eat as much as it wants. Don't freak out about the weight right now. Later on, when your body doesn't want to eat as much, you'll see the composition change. The other thing I want to say is make sure you take a look at your composition change. We always try to tell people, look, when you grow, when you get extra muscle and bone, which is going to happen fairly quickly, that's going to weigh a lot. And unfortunately, it pushes out the fat. So it does tend to make you look a little fatter too at first. Some people it doesn't. But eventually the fat will start shaving off also. So hopefully I answered that. But anybody else want to try to make them feel better?
Yeah, I mean, man, I've been through so many stalls, and it's still frustrating every time I go through them. But it just you just gotta kind of be comfortable in the process because the more that you go through them, the shorter they last. I've noticed too, but it's just a healing thing. It's happened every time. Like I was so happy this summer because I finally got into the 300s. I got under 400. It's been what has it been? It's been 18 years or something since I seen the scale start with a 3. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So I was very happy. But then I crashed my metabolism. I had to reprime. Then I gained 53 pounds, while I was repriming, which I know is mostly fluid and whatever. But my pants didn't get tight and my shirts didn't get tight. Nothing happened. I just gained a bunch of fluid or something back. I don't even know. But then out of nowhere, I lost like 23 pounds and I lost another pant size while I was doing it. It's the craziest thing. I can't even comprehend it really, but my legs got so much leaner and I got so much more lean tissue and I just got so much stronger and I'm moving around so much more that it's so hard to quantify what's actually happening in like a month to month or even in like a 6-month period. It's kind of hard because there's so many composition changes are going on. I realize I'm an extreme example, but I mean, I have to keep kind of calming myself by going, I'm down 310 pounds. I got my life back. What else am I going to do? What am I going to do different other than just trust this process and feel good? So that's kind of where I'm at on it now. And I notice that every time I settle into that piece about it, things go a lot better, and those stalls don't last as long, right? It's just because when you start to kind of worry about them or get in a mood about them or have anxiety about them, it makes them last longer too, and you don't sleep as good, and it just spirals.
That's amazing. I'm sure Shane is very inspired from that answer. Go ahead, Phil.
Yeah, I prime every 6 months, and in November I've gained 18 pounds priming again. And now I'm on level 2 and it'll come off. So I don't really worry about my body feels really stable and solid and I feel really good. And I really don't worry that I was a little amazed that in 1 month I gained that much, but because I weigh myself every 1 to 2 months, but I'm not worried about it because it's just a temporary situation that you get. And like I said, I like to challenge my metabolism by repriming, and I do that every 6 months. So I do it in May, I do it in November, and it just feels kind of good to open up, eat a lot, and then go back and do 90 days challenge. I just like the rhythm of that. It just feels right. And I noticed a few people said, do you have meal plans on SBG? And the challenges are not about meal plans. They're about how you eat your meals, not what you eat your meals. Your food is carnivore, and you decide what you're going to eat. What the challenges take you through are different feasting and fasting protocols. And it's not like you're in some plan where you have to eat, this on Monday and this on Tuesday. It's really about whether you're eating once a day, twice a day, 3 times a day, fasting for some length of time and mixing it up. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Well, you're on the topic of when you're on the topic of the challenge too, I think this would be a good time to clarify that.
Thank you, Todd. I was going to actually do that next. So Dorothy, good question. So I know we've been talking about community a lot in this live stream. The Butter Club is for the 35 years and younger members, and that has nothing to do with our World Carnivore Challenge. So really, the Butter Club is a free community for young members. Our main community, and I saw a lot of comments in the live chat saying like, can I still join Butter Club if I'm 57 but young at heart? So you don't need to join the Butter Club because the main community is the Steak and Butter Gang. Okay, so there should be no feelings of being left out or FOMO here because our main best original community is SBG. And the challenge that we're going to do for World Carnivore Month, January, will be led by Dr. Sean Baker. So this one is very exciting. He's doing it because it's his holiday month, World Carnivore Month. And just going off of what Phil said, only for January World Carnivore Month, we will be giving out meal plans, and I'm designing it with Dr. Baker. We are not going to be giving meal plans, though, telling you exactly how much to eat. Okay, so that's if you're expecting us to give you, okay, eat exactly this many calories, exactly this much for breakfast, this much for dinner. Nobody should be doing that. Nobody should be prescribing how many calories somebody should eat because it is way too personal. Even day to day, Monday, you may go for a walk. Tuesday, you may be on your period. You're going to need a different amount of calories for those days to support your life, your hormones, your activity levels. So when I will be giving out the meal plans in our January challenge, it's going to be, this is what you eat on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but not the amounts, if that makes sense. So it will still give you a lot of guidance, a lot of ideas, obviously, and how to eat as a carnivore. It just won't tell you exactly how much to eat. Yeah. So hopefully that answers your question, Dorothy. To join us in January, the link is in the description box. That's all you have to do is open it and click that link. Great.
I think you need to add that we have people as old as 84 in the gang. So there's no age limit.
So exactly. So SBG, all ages, everybody is welcome. Absolutely zero restrictions there. Even vegans are welcome. Okay.
That's right. Cheer you guys on. Yeah.
Please come on in. Yeah.
Yeah, please.
All right. Yeah. Nikki, can carnivore get rid of spider veins? Ooh. Phyllis is nodding. Okay,
Yes.
please share.
Okay, so I had the veins were so bad, so purpley all over, that my granddaughter told me that I was playing with too much purple marker because, kids get marker all over themselves. A little over a year in, I noticed that on my left leg, it's clear. They're gone.
Wow.
My right leg, very faint.
Wow.
So, yes.
That's awesome.
That is so cool.
And Phyllis, did you do any special protocols or did you do anything besides just going carnivore?
No.
Great.
Just carnivore. And by the way, for the age, we have a little boy as young as 10 in our group. And
yes,
someone who's, is she 80? I think she had a birthday just recently. So she's finally 85.
Yes.
And I'll be 76 next month. So we have a wide range of people there.
Yes, we do. Oh, yeah. Very
That's
exciting. Awesome. Okay, let's keep going.
All right. Let me go back up here.
Miriam, please help me. I fell off the wagon 4 times right now. I need help. How to stay consistent, please. Sugar cravings is what she's dealing with here. Okay, Miriam. Let's start with Raymond. What are your thoughts for Miriam?
Well, definitely could use a little priming there. That kind of helps. The main thing is making sure you're eating enough. Typically, people fall off the wagon because they're not eating enough carnivore foods. So the priming concept is eating 3 meals a day till comfortably stuffed. The first week is to have snacks allowed. The second week is to just do it without snacks. But there's a lot more detail behind it. Any coffee you have or anything other than water, you would do that as a dessert. So a little more nuance, but the other thing is join a community. We also have a sugar meeting just for these people who have these cravings, and we kind of help them through that part. So I just can let you know, if you're eating enough, you're not even going to want to eat, period, much less sugar. Sugar is not going to look anything good to you. And that's the idea. You get to that point where you're actually enjoying not eating, and that's amazing.
Yay. My suggestions for Miriam is fat is sugar cravings' biggest enemy. Seriously is. Okay, I'm not just speaking from my own experience. I hear it on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube from our own carnivore members in this online community all the time. If you have a sugar craving and that voice creeps up in the middle of the day, you're on your laptop working. I really want some chocolate. Go to your fridge, eat some pure fat. Some examples include butter, tallow, raw suet, even just something fatty like a strip of bacon with lots of fat on it. And eat it. Don't expect it to go away automatically, but give it time. Savor that fat. Let that fat slowly melt, absorb in your body, go down your stomach, okay? And give it a couple minutes and literally hear that voice fade away. It really does work, and there's nothing more effective than pure fat. Todd, you're nodding. Do you have any tips?
Yeah, I know that, sugar was my number one drug of choice to treat anxiety. Usually was what would cause it the most. Any kind of anxiety, and I was riddled with it, and especially in the mornings, that dawn phenomenon stuff. That was when it was worse, and I just had to eat my way through the cravings, because the only way I could quiet that down was if I've filled up with bacon and eggs before. So I just, everybody's heard me probably say it by now, but I just kind of came up with a kind of a fail-safe plan where I would tell myself if I wanted that sugar, I had to eat bacon and eggs until I was stuffed, and then I could have it. And that actually really worked well for me. And so that's what the idea behind it was to hit the stretch markers on my stomach to shut off the noise that was telling me to eat, because that's the only way I could get any kind of appetite control then. And it worked. And I'm still to this day surprised how well it worked, because I haven't had a sugar craving in like 22 months now. And so
awesome.
You can get free from it. And I mean, I was drinking, thousands of calories. I was drinking, like 20 sodas a day to get my sugar fix. And it was the worst addiction I had, and I had plenty. And that really did quench it. But yeah, I had to eat through it for sure.
That is amazing. So yeah, you don't have to lean on a pure fat, Miriam. You can do what Todd did, was just have a designated meal. Okay. And then eat that every single time. But you have to be consistent. You can't get lazy. You can't be like, okay, I'll just write it out. I'll just drink some water because I'm probably dehydrated. No, you have to eat every time. Otherwise, you will actually fall off the wagon. Unfortunately, it's a lot of work to do it every single time. But what you get on the other end is you get to stay on carnivore, and you eventually get to live life with 0 sugar cravings. How amazing is that? It is happening to thousands of people. Free. Free from it.
Yep. That's right.
Yep. And I mean, that's why I picked bacon and eggs, because it's easier and cheaper and more accessible, and it can be ready in like 7 or 8 minutes. You can turn the skillet on high. It's pretty easy. And then I didn't look at it that I was going to eat that and not eat the sugar. I looked at it like I get to eat the sugar as soon as I eat this bacon and eggs, But what happens is you're kind of playing a little trick on yourself, because then you get the power back to live to fight another day after you have the bacon and eggs, and it worked every time. So, maybe it was just me, but that saved my life. It really did. That one little trick. So
amazing.
Oh, I was just saying that one.
Sorry.
We're
doing it at the same time. Okay. Great. All right. This is Jimmy. Physical trainers often say to get 1 gram of protein per day for every pound you weigh. I'm in the neighborhood of 200 pounds. Does this sound? So his question is saying, should he be eating 200 grams of protein if he's using that logic?
Well, that's not the right formula. It's for every lean pound that you weigh. So like when I was 700 pounds, I shouldn't be eating 700 grams.
Wow. That'd be amazing. You could do that.
Right. So no, you kind of got to figure out what percentage body fat you are if you really wanted to do that. But it's really what your lean body mass is, so it's not the weight that you are that you're eating protein for. It's the lean weight and your goal weight that you want to be, kind of. So yeah, it probably depends on if you have any fat on you. So, yeah.
Exactly. I actually heard another one similar to the 1 gram of protein rule. Again, the reason why I'm not familiar with these rules is because when I went carnivore, I don't follow rules. I follow what my body wants, which I feel like is the ideal way to live. Eventually, that should be everybody's goal, is to not constantly or for life be on some weight loss program or to keep following rules, period. So for Jimmy, I heard another popular one, though, saying you want to eat the number of grams for your ideal body weight.
Yeah.
Phil, you're nodding there. What are your thoughts
That's what
on
I
that?
use. I use ideal body weight because it's easier to calculate and to look up, because despite how much we've come with body composition monitors, it's still the easiest number to assess is your ideal body weight. And that has to do with your height, your body build, your gender. And those are all things that can help you to determine. So for someone like me, I'm 6 foot, would be about 160 would be the ideal body weight for. I've never weighed that, but I feel good at like 183. But with that rule, I would eat 160 grams of protein. But we do use this when people want to gain weight. It's very helpful because a lot of people are not getting enough protein. And when they're trying to heal certain conditions, like number one in the older population is osteopenia. And when we look at 60 and 70-year-old women who have thin bones and they have poor DEXA scans, if we can get their protein up, then it really helps. Also people post-surgery and people that are trying to build their bodies. But I think most Americans are under eating protein when you really look at it. But I agree with you. Eventually you want to get to the point where you're not prisoner to your own macros. But if you're trying to solve a specific problem, having some targets may help you in the short term to get an idea of what you need.
I know that chart doesn't apply to me, but I swear if you cremated me, I'd still weigh 200 pounds.
What do you mean by that? Hold on.
Yeah, I don't get that one.
I said, I swear if you cremated me, my ashes would still weigh 200 pounds. I can't, like, I'm 5'10", and there's no way I'd ever get to like one, what that chart says, like 160.
Right.
Well, yeah, it'd be like 150 for you.
Yeah, there's not a chance. I just don't think. Yeah.
No, it's just a target
to
use. Not. I mean, personally, I have no interest to get to my ideal body weight. Yeah. I feel really good in my 180s. That's where I function the best. If I got to 160, I would look like the thin man, and I don't have an interest to be in that low.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it again, it's like, do you really want to? And Jimmy, let's first answer Jimmy's question collectively. So he doesn't need to be eating 200 grams of protein per day, correct?
He does not.
Yeah.
We just go by your height. If you're a male, as a general rule of thumb, 6 foot, be about 160 to 175 pounds. So 160, 175 grams, and cut 10 grams for every 2 inches, or cut 5 pounds for every inch below that. That would be a general rule.
Yeah. Or Jimmy, you can just focus on enjoying your carnivore journey and just eat when you're hungry, stop when you're full. That's something I really enjoy doing, and it worked so beautifully for me. I'm 6 years into carnivore now, still thriving, still eating only meat. Okay. And also, am I counting calories? Am I tracking my protein? Not at all, because my body tells me how much protein I need to eat. And the other day on one of these lives, a member came on and specifically asked me, can you calculate your macros in front of us? So I did. And I'm eating way more protein, fat, calories, all of it than what I should be based on my whole ideal weight, height, BMI, whatever. So that just goes to show it's so personal as well. Yeah. Okay.
Great.
Oh, Todd,
it
your
has so
mouth
much
is
to
moving,
do.
but I don't hear you. Okay, go ahead.
All right.
Phil.
Yeah. Go ahead, Phil.
Oh, no, I was just saying it has so much to do with your hormone balances in your body too. And you're a very unusual individual, being Asian and 5'10". So your metabolism is probably undescribable. Plus you're doing some working out now.
Yes. Right now, yes. Yeah. But I wasn't born with an amazing metabolism. I would not say that I'm someone who's naturally skinny, because when I was eating a standard American diet and a vegan diet, I was not skinny. I was very puffy, very inflamed. So when people say, "Oh, she's on Instagram especially, oh, she's doing so great on carnivore because she's young and she's Asian," as in they're saying like it's my genes and it's my youth that's giving me these results. Absolutely not. I don't feel as good as I did even 4 years ago on carnivore. That's 4 years later, 4 years older. So how does that work, right? So yeah, it's very personal.
Yeah, I think I love when you talk about before you went carnivore, how you had a Buddha belly, because that's
exactly
such a descriptor of poor health, right? A Buddha belly.
Yeah.
I mean,
poor health,
and
poor
you're
digestion.
such an example of ideal health right now. So it's great to watch the change through your videos through the years.
Thank you,
For
Phil.
sure.
I appreciate that.
Can we do another drawing real quick?
I'd love to. All right. So this is the giveaway happening now. For those who entered, good job. Thank you. Yeah. The prize for this one is SBG membership. All right. Congratulations. Violet Aura. If you're still in this live stream, you won. Congrats. And I'll repeat the rules to claim your reward. It is to screenshot your device right now so that we have proof that it is you, Violet Aura, reaching out to claim your prize. Screenshot that and take that screenshot, email it to sbgchallenge@gmail.com, and you will get your prize.
That's awesome. Congratulations. And the next one will be a $25 Amazon gift card. And we're going to go ahead and do hashtag ribeye again. So everybody put hashtag ribeye.
Okay.
Keep it easy.
Keep it simple all the way. I love it.
Makes it simple.
Yay. Congrats, Violet. She says thank you. So she saw that she won. Yay. Good. All right. Yeah. Silver Stack. Thank you so much. Was diagnosed acute severe claudication. They found 4 larger clots, carnivore, for 2 years now. For GERD, they are blaming my diet. and the COL 322. Okay, lots of abbreviations, but I'm guessing that's cholesterol. Cholesterol is 322 average, and surgery Monday. Is there more to this, Todd, or is that the whole question?
Let me look. I think that's the whole question so far, but let me look. See if I can find
All right.
anything else.
Claudication.
Okay, well, let me first explain what claudication is. So claudication indicates peripheral vascular disease, so plaque within the arteries of your legs, usually aorta and femoral artery. And claudication is the fact that your legs get numb and painful and pale when you walk. So they can only walk so far until the circulation in their legs are so bad that Silver Stacker evidently has either pain or limitation and can't walk any further. And this is due to atherosclerotic peripheral vascular disease, which is usually due to insulin resistance, hypertension, cigarette smoking. I've never heard of anyone getting this on Carnivore, but usually claudication occurs over years. And I'm not quite sure what the question is here, but I certainly would think that I'd be concerned. Family history too, Silver Stacker. I see your only risk factor was cholesterol, was in perfect health. And I assume that you've had either ultrasounds or angiograms to confirm that you have claudication. So I don't know what kind of surgery you're having. Are you having bypass surgery? I don't know any detail about your cholesterol, whether you have high
says yes,
triglycerides.
yes.
Okay, high triglycerides, low HDL cholesterol, family
Clot
history.
removal.
Oh, he had a clot removed.
Clot removal.
Yeah, so
Stents.
a clot in the artery. That's kind of an interesting case. So I don't know if they've done any fractionation of your cholesterol and see if you have a lot of low density hard LDL cholesterol. So they really should do a metabolic workup on you and look at your inflammatory markers, your C-reactive protein. Make sure you get an advanced lipid profile. And you're somebody that probably would benefit from statins. And I know there's some people in the chat that say statins never, never, never. But peripheral vascular disease in the face of that elevated cholesterol, that is secondary prevention, not primary prevention. So primary prevention is when you don't have any existing atherosclerotic disease. Secondary prevention is when you do have atherosclerotic disease. And the statins work through these pleiotropic effects that I was talking about earlier. So I hope when my video, my interview with Bella comes out shortly, that you watch that. But you're allergic to all statins, but there are some non-statin drugs now that they're giving. You might want to look into those, but make sure that you get an advanced lipid profile and have them look at your LDL small particles and see if those are unnecessarily high. And there's some really good articles in PubMed. And like I said, we give reference to these 2 articles that you're going to want to dive into. Do you have any idea when this interview is going to come out, Bella?
I would say mid-January.
Okay, mid-January.
Yeah.
So, you have a very unique case. So work with your doctors, but don't be afraid to do something to lower that cholesterol. Statins aren't the only available treatment, and I go through quite a bit of the literature on this interview that I'm doing, and it'll be a little controversial for some of you to watch.
It's a fantastic video.
Don't make me unfollow you, Phil.
Well, since I don't have a channel, Todd, you can't unfollow me. So.
Yeah.
All right.
Going. #ribeye. Oh, good job. This is for Todd. Are you going to the January meetup in Arizona?
I am. Are you going, John? Love to meet you. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, let us know,
sure?
John. Throughout this live stream, I saw so many of you all saying that you'll be at Arizona. Oh, this is going to be an amazing meetup. Yeah.
It's going to be super fun. Yeah.
Can't wait.
It's going to be awesome to see y'all at dinner.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to need a bigger place.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. Kenton, I'm trying to eat 3 meals, carnivore meals per day, priming, but I'm finding that I cannot eat the 3rd meal. So should I try some fasting? So 3 meals a day to fasting, that's a big jump.
Yeah, that is a big jump. So, well, actually 2 meals a day would be considered fasting. What I want to say is that if you just started, sometimes it takes a little bit to kick it off. So do be patient, really try for that 3rd meal. One of the strategies that you can do is reducing some of the meals on meal 1 or 2, making sure you get that 3 meals. What the objective on priming is to actually hopefully get your appetite to open up. And then it'll not only be easier to eat, but you'll actually find yourself hungrier. Hunger is a good sensation. And then when you go, I like to go the style, and that's up to you. If you're under priming, I like to go to styles from the 3 MAD plus, which is a snack, to 3 MAD, then to 2 MADs in a certain sequence. So if you're in our SBG 30-day challenge, go ahead and check out the calendars. We do have that available for you guys.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I forgot about that. So 16 to 8, 2 meals a day is still considered intermittent fasting. You wouldn't say that's extended fasting. That's more intermittent fasting, right?
Intermittent.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, great. Let's keep going. Welcome, B setting. What do you think about eating within your circadian rhythm? Breakfast and lunch only. Candy from Primalbot is all about that. Thank you. Oh, that's so awesome. I think that's great. Like eating with your circadian rhythm is wonderful because especially for women, when you eat top of the day and then you eat a lunch if you need it, to be honest, right? Like how nourishing is your breakfast? That's going to say a lot. And that's why Raymond also likes to start his program off with breakfast, lunch, and dinner, So 3 meals a day, starting off your carnivore journey with that is probably the best way to start because we don't know where a lot of these members or newbies are coming from. Are they coming from a lifestyle of 6 meals a day, which is the standard American way of eating? Oh, you need breakfast, lunch, and dinner, snacks in between, especially if you work out, you gotta have a shake, right? Eat right after working out. There's this whole dogma right now that most people think they need to do, eat all throughout the day. And that's fine, but what are you eating? What are you eating? If you're eating carbs all throughout the day, you are spiking your insulin like crazy. That's very unhealthy. That's why people are crashing in the middle of the day. Their moods are all over the place. They don't feel like that they can even sustain their energy throughout any day. So that I think it really has to do with what you are eating. That's really what it is about. And so those who come into the carnivore lifestyle, they've basically discovered the secret to optimal health and also efficient living. What are your thoughts, Raymond?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, it's great points. So I just want to say the first part, it's all about nourished, right? It's all about nourishment. So just like what Bella says, when you first start out, so it depends on where you're at in your carnivore journey. If you haven't nourished properly, then eventually your body's going to crave. It's going to be wanting more. Give it what it wants first. And then when it doesn't want that anymore, adjust from there. That's how it works for me. and for a lot of carnivores that I've noticed and witnessed.
And let me just share a little bit more. So with my 6 years of being carnivore, I've tried Raymond's priming, feasting, fasting. I've gone up to rolling 48-hour fasts. It was amazing. And I'm so glad I tried that. And I went all the way with extended fasting because initially when I started carnivore, I was like, fasting is terrible. It's not necessary. If you go carnivore, you can get all the results that you need. But it turns out for a lot of carnivores, they do benefit a lot through the autophagy and the incorporation of extended fasts. Phil is nodding, Todd is nodding. They live it, right? And they're reaping benefits as we speak. So I love that there are more and more carnivores in the space that are not afraid to talk about maybe more controversial topics. Raymond, you talked about fasting the day you met me. You know, you are never, ever afraid to talk about fasting. And that's what I really love you for. You talk about what works. You talk about what you've seen work for your clients. And that's what matters. What works, right? And
That's right.
so I think if what you're doing is working, that's what you should be going off of, is if it's working for your lifestyle, your goals, and all that. And there will be different approaches that work for different carnivores. Hopefully that helps. All right. Mark, hi. Anyone else use trace mineral supplement? We have started to do that here. It makes our water close to Gerolsteiner. Is it Gerolsteiner or Gerolsteiner? I forgot. In taste. So what are your thoughts on trace mineral supplements? Phil, do you take that?
Took them the first maybe 6 months of carnivore, just because I was getting a lot of leg cramps, and then my leg cramps started increasing. Raymond suggested I cut out all supplements, all electrolytes, and I did that and haven't gone back to them. So just use meat, animal products to get everything I need.
Awesome. Anyone here take trace mineral supplements? I personally don't. Phyllis, go ahead.
You do?
Yeah, because I don't use bottled water. I don't use tap water. I have one of those zero filters that's supposed to filter out everything. And it was recommended that I actually got off of Amazon. It's the Aussie Trace Minerals. So it's not electrolytes. It's got a whole bunch of minerals that you would find naturally in spring water before it all got tapped out. So, but I don't use it in all my water. I do like 10 drops a day, and that's it. And then the rest of the water is just filtered.
It's awesome.
Awesome.
But no, I don't notice a difference.
Thanks for sharing. Let's keep going. Okay, this is Erica. What are your thoughts on a beef organ supplement versus a multivitamin? I don't think you need any of those, really. You don't need to take a beef organ supplement. You also don't need to take multivitamins. Obviously, if you're working closely with your primary, your doctor, through any specific healing, then you should be talking to them. You should not be asking your medical questions to people on live streams. But a lot of people who go carnivore, they actually get off all of their multivitamins, all of their supplements. And so when we see questions about, well, do I have to add a supplement or add a new multivitamin after going carnivore? It's a bit backwards to us because carnivore diet gives you all the nutrients, all the vitamins, minerals, and electrolytes that you need. So adding extra things and paying big bucks for it just seems a little bit counterproductive to us. Todd, you're nodding. Do you want to share your thoughts?
Well, I just, I used to take the ancestral liver capsules and stuff, and they're $60 a bottle. And then liver's like $2.99 a pound, and you can cut it in those cubes and freeze it and swallow it just like that dang 50-cent pill you were swallowing, and you can get a heck of a lot of liver out of $1.99 a pound versus $60 a bottle. So that that's my supplement if I want it. But no, I don't, I haven't found a need for any of it since going through priming and healing up. I haven't found any benefit other than iodine. iodine still. And for a short time there, the amino acid therapy we did really helped me digest food, made me feel a lot better, helped my lymphatic system. But even the last 2 months of taking the aminos, I didn't notice any difference anymore. And so I think that was a bridge to help me heal up, but I don't think I need them anymore. So, yep.
I've been playing with beef organ supplements recently. And so far, it's not bad for bang for your buck because it's very expensive. I don't know if it's worth it, but I think it is better than the multivitamins. So that's one thing that I've noticed. So, and not only that, the it's so hard to find a good multivitamin.
Yeah. Multivitamin. Do you mean steak? Like that's a multivitamin.
There you go.
Like, let's just stop taking pills, period. Unless again, you're working closely with your doc and you have to, whatever. But with the multivitamins where you're literally ordering it off of Amazon, why? When you have steak in your fridge. So what is your thought? Yeah, go ahead.
I would say about the best multivitamin or pill that I've seen in a while actually is those carnivore bars, actually, because that is something that I found out that's kind of interesting, because my brother has MS and he was having syncope problems. He was passing out and he just couldn't eat a lot. And we fought, man, I can't imagine what it's like to have an autoimmune issue, because it's so frustrating how stuff that helps me sets him off, and he has a reaction to it every time. But those carnivore bars have been a lifesaver because he can get in the fat and the protein, and they're only in 2-ounce bars. So he doesn't have to have much of an appetite. And so I was just thinking that does feel like probably the best multivitamin, because they get an entire ribeye and fat in that little bar, and then he can eat it, And so it's he hasn't had any passing out or syncope problems since in the last 2 or 3 months, since doing 1 to 2 of those carnivore bars a day. So I was just thinking about that. I'm like, yeah, you brought up a good point when you said you mean beef, because I was like, actually, that condensed carnivore bar actually feels like a vitamin for my brother, because he can get that all down. So
great point.
Yeah, because carnivore bars, they're pemmican bars. So for those who don't know what a carnivore bar is, but you guys know what a pemmican bar is, it's what athletes take when they have to be, moving their body or active for long periods of time. It's what I think hikers take, like long period of hiking. Those types of people bring pemmican bars because it is that dense in nutrition and healthy fat. So I know that carnivore bar, they just take, I think, grass-fed, grass-finished, not just grass-fed, but also grass-finished beef. They blend it with grass-fed, grass-finished beef fat. And those are the only 2 ingredients in there. So that really does create a very dense block of food, so it is very helpful. Yeah.
For sure. All right. This is a 2-parter. So, about 2 months in, and then it goes to there.
Okay. BB, what to do about bathroom issues? And let me see the other part.
I said about 2 months in.
Oh, okay.
2 months
into carnivore, what to do about bathroom issues. We did actually cover this earlier with the peeing at night, but they may be talking about stool issues like loose stools or constipation. And I'll answer this real quick because I love talking about bowels. So when it comes to constipation, maybe, just maybe, you're eating too much fat. Dr. Chafee likes to say this. If you're having loose stools, or sorry, no. Constipation, you're not eating enough fat. Sorry. Loose stools, Chafee likes to say, maybe you're eating too much fat, more fat than your body can handle at that time. So take away the fat temporarily if you're having diarrhea and add more fat if you're having constipation. That's the best thing you can possibly do to troubleshoot. And if that still doesn't work, my second step for you is play with the salt. So if you're having constipation, you should be adding more fat plus more salt, but don't do it at the same time, one at a time. If you're having loose stools, are you doing too much salt? Are you overdoing it on your electrolytes? That's step 2 as well. Play one variable at a time. Next. Okay. Whoa, look at that name. Do you know how to pronounce that? That's such a pretty name. Looks Hawaiian.
Yeah.
Kekolike? Kekalika? I don't know. Such a pretty name, though. Anyways, she says, did any of you incorporate exercise when first going carnivore? And if you did not, do you wish you did? I'm gaining weight, so exercise helps jumpstart the weight loss. So let's just raise hands here. Who here exercised when they first went carnivore? Only Raymond. Okay. And then who here incorporated exercise after a while of doing carnivore? Yeah. So Phyllis? Oh, okay. Why did you raise your hand last? Do you barely exercise?
I didn't really exercise as much as I became more active, because once I started reducing, because once I got rid of the pain, I was able to get out and start doing things more. When I first started carnivore, I pretty much was sitting in one spot in the sofa all day, wasn't getting out or doing anything. So it was kind of a halfway raise.
Yeah. Hey, that's very much aligned with my approach. Is when I first went carnivore, I had so much healing to do. In fact, I think a lot of carnivores kind of go this route, is they go carnivore because they have no choice to. So I don't know about your story. Are you trying to heal anything besides jumpstarting weight loss? Because for those who come to carnivore, they are specifically looking to heal some type of health condition or just stop living in pain. I will say, after 6 years, this is something I've witnessed a lot in this awesome community, is that most people who come in and they give this lifestyle a try, they do it because they have no other choice. They do it because they're desperate, okay? Because nothing else has worked and they've tried everything under the sun. So if you're doing carnivore not for any type of healing at all, which there are people like that as well, and that's great, and you're only doing carnivore for weight loss, then yeah, go ahead and exercise. But I actually personally do not recommend exercising at all when first starting carnivore, because the people that I'm helping and answering questions for are people who have healing as the top priority. So I will say that clearly. If you're here for carnivore to heal, do not exercise. Especially do not exercise for the first time in your life. Combined with carnivore for the first time in your life, that's a recipe for disaster. Just go carnivore. Just eat. Get better. Feel better first. And then you'll be like Phyllis. You'll be like me, where you don't have any more pain, you have no more issues, and you want to move your body and exercise. And that's exactly how I did it. But for those in this live stream, I'll have you guys, why don't you guys chime in and help her? What do you all recommend? Do you recommend that she starts exercising to jumpstart the weight loss? She says she's gaining weight, and that makes me wonder, why is she gaining weight? Is there hormone healing happening? Like, there's so many things that I'm thinking about based on my experience and what I've seen. But everybody, let's all help her out. Kekolike, if you're still here, let me know how to pronounce your name. I really like your name. Okay, let's keep
And
going.
just to be clear, I wish I didn't start exercising first, but I already was doing Orange Theory for 7 months, just because my nurse told me that a lot of my issues would be resolved by exercise. So I decided to try that without changing diet. Didn't work.
Yeah.
So, but I kept
diet
on. So that's why. Yeah.
That's good. All right. Yes. Is the carnivore diet treating obesity as a disease? Is the carnivore diet treating obesity as a disease? Okay. Raymond, what are your thoughts?
That's an interesting question. Treating obesity as a disease. I mean, I don't look at it that way. Obesity is probably, to me, a marker of multiple things going wrong in your body, including metabolism and several other things. So I believe once you get to the root cause of those other issues, that obesity can be treated as a result of healing your body. But that's my experience for myself and others. So I actually did gain weight first before I lost weight. So, and I hear that's a lot of people do that too.
So, okay. So one thing that I see a lot in the community is diabetes being reversed. And Phil, since you're the retired MD here, would you say there is a correlation with people having getting diabetes, type 2 or type 1, with being obese. Is there a correlation there?
Not with type 1, but there is with type 2.
Okay.
But obesity is a risk factor for many diseases, but it's also the consequence of many diseases. So, you know, you have the chicken and the egg problem. And, you know, I did a live stream with Todd's channel with Lindy and Todd. I'm trying to think when that was. 6 months ago, Todd, when I went over a cartoon about that inflammation is kind of the center of sleep apnea, of obesity, of diabetes, of erectile dysfunction. I mean, a lot of things that hormone imbalances. And if you get, as you reduce the inflammation in your body, which is probably the number one thing most people need to do in America. We suffer more from metabolic diseases than anything. And so obesity is a metabolic disease and so falls in the same category. Now, the causes of obesity are many and can vary quite a bit. Can be multifactorial, single factorial, but they all seem to respond, as Raymond said, after you address healing of the body, you tend to obtain a more optimal weight. So I saw some people in the live stream said, I want to gain weight. Well, people gain weight on carnivore because they heal their body from Lyme disease, from autoimmune diseases, from anorexia nervosa, all kinds of things respond very favorable to underweight people when they go carnivore. And people that are overweight, they also do well too, but so many people think solving the weight issue is the number one thing they need to do. And they get really hung up on what the scale's telling them. And we see this all the time. And I have seen so many people that when they quit worrying about the weight goes off. The more they worry about the weight, the harder it is for them to lose weight. And so, yes, obesity is a disease, but we're using the carnivore way of eating as an optimal way to nourish the body and to resolve metabolic disease. And obesity is a metabolic disease. So that's my long answer in a short time.
Man, that'd be a fun one to break down a lot better. Because I'm just wondering, what carrying the fat on your body in large quantities, what does it actually cause for health problems?
Well, there's so many things. So one is it increased peripheral resistance in your body. So peripheral resistance is the resistance in your blood vessels that your heart is working against. Obesity can cause stasis in your lymphatic system so that your lymphatics can't drain properly. And then you get edema, you get lymphedema, you get lipedema. Obesity predisposes you to certain infections. Like we know that during the COVID epidemic, people that were obese were more likely to have severe complications from COVID. But my question to you, was that due to the obesity or is that due to the metabolic disease that's associated with the obesity? Yes. And the obesity itself is one of 5 risk factors for a metabolic syndrome and a marker for it. But metabolic syndrome is also a constellation of high triglycerides, low HDL cholesterol, obesity, hypertension. So it's multifactorial. So I think too many people focus in on the obesity, and I could spend hours talking about all the hormonal axes that are involved in maintaining
Yeah.
our weight, from the hormones in our digestive system, from ghrelin and leptin and insulin and lipases, the enzymes that digest our food. I mean, it's very complicated. And perhaps one day we should just have a physiology lesson for people, but live stream is probably not the best place to do that.
For sure. I'd love it just because, it feels like, and obviously I'm an idiot, so I don't know what I'm talking about, but feels like, the weight gets blamed for causing these problems and the cure is to starve it out, the obesity.
Right.
But it feels like the real problem was the metabolic disease and the insulin resistance and all those things caused the weight. And then the weight is causing, like you said, those, just from having that much mass and pressure and those other things. But it doesn't seem like it's the cause, which is what your chart said there about the inflammation.
Yeah, I think inflammation is a central player in all of this. And we do know that people have body composition differences that are genetically determined, but I think obesity is more complicated than most people think. And we should view it as more of a downstream sign rather than the causation.
For sure. Awesome.
Yeah. And Phil, I would love to be your student and learn about all of the hormonal, ongoings in our body, because whenever you talk about insulin resistance or reversing metabolic disease, and whenever you talk about any of our hormones in our body, you always teach it in such a digestible way. And
no pun intended.
Yeah. So I'd be the first to sit in and continue learning from you. And I'm sure a lot of people agree with what I just said. So for me, it's like I like learning after I know what works. When I went carnivore, I had zero interest in the science and the mechanisms behind why it works. But now I'm extremely fascinated because I want to know why. Yeah.
It's funny how I used to think getting the answers was tough. It's getting the questions that are tough. The answers come a lot easier when you know the question.
Yeah, exactly. Really. Well, we have a lot of these discussions every week in SBG during our live chats. And it's pretty amazing because the best time to learn is in the context of one of our members having a specific issue. And that's the best time to learn. So, we can put endless numbers of videos out there, but it's when you learn something in the context of an actual case study. And by case study, I mean Phyllis as an example of someone that has an issue. And not that I've ever done one on Phyllis, but if she did, and I taught it to you in the context of how Phyllis is responding and what's going on, people tend to retain it longer because it's a story rather than just a lot of boring facts.
Yeah, like just out of nowhere, random science talk. That's so true. Using members as a reason to talk about the science and the mechanisms is probably the best way to learn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Phil.
All right.
Can we
do a drawing real quick?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good time.
We're at the 2 hour and 8 minute mark. Just a little time check.
Yes,
here.
we are.
All right. So here we go. This is for a $25 Amazon gift card.
Correct. Yay. Okay, let's see who wins. Congratulations, Rochelle Reviews. I hope you're here because you just won $25. And again, I'll just quickly go through how to claim it. Screenshot this Rochelle Reviews if you're here, and then take that screenshot and email sbgchallenge@gmail.com, and you'll be able to claim your prize. Congratulations.
That's awesome. We got one more prize. It's a 1 month membership to SBG, and hashtag ribeye is the code. So go ahead and put
Yay!
hashtag ribeye in.
Same
You'll be in
exact
that last
hashtag.
Same
All right.
one. All right.
Put in the live chat.
Let's see here. I feel like we did this one already, not exactly, but we did one like it. So
Yeah, trying to get on a body weight resistance exercise program next 80-day carnivore. Do it. All right.
That's it. Do it.
All right. Love it. Janice, how can I reduce constipation? Oh, we talked about this. And she says high fat is not an option yet. I have IBSD on non-carnivore foods, but carnivore gives me constipation that causes elevated ammonia levels. Phil, do you want to take this?
I think the most common thing that people in the gang use is magnesium at bedtime. It seems to help them sleep, and it helps to reduce the constipation a little bit. It won't affect your liver.
Yeah. Okay, so magnesium, try that, Janice. Hopefully that helps with your constipation.
And some people use warm water too. They drink warm water, hot water.
Or just hydration in general.
Yeah, lots of hydration. A little bit of salt water can do it too.
Perfect.
For sure.
Cisse, carnivore family, we need to include farmers and health professionals to be part of the movement, don't we? Absolutely, we do. Absolutely. Yes. But actually, as we speak day after day, naturally, they are being part of the movement. In fact, all the farmers that I've met in person and the ranchers, so Todd, Raymond, they came to Wyoming. There was this amazing beef roundup. I also got married after that event. And we got to meet a lot of ranchers and farmers in person. And they are very much part of this movement, guys. Like they are very passionate about being part of the tribe and the movement and they do help push the word out for us as well. So if you guys know anyone, feel free to loop them in, send them videos of Dr. Baker, Dr. Berry talking about carnivore. I think that's great. Love it.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I want to promote Hack Your Health next November in Tampa, Florida.
Great.
That we're going to be doing a panel called How to Survive as a Carnivore in a Non-Carnivore World. And I think a lot of people, my focus is really how to help you talk to your doctor and take your doctor from being your parent to being your partner in your healthcare. I have very frank conversations with my doctors, my cardiologist, my family physician, my dentist. They all know I'm on carnivore, and we have some great debates, great discussions, and continue to want to be an example to them. I had a lot of cardiac problems due to having a myocarditis in 2001, and I've been paying the consequences of that ever since. And carnivore is an important part of my treatment, but it's an ongoing thing that I have to deal with. But I feel the best I've felt in years. So,
oh, that's awesome.
Talk to your doctors.
Absolutely. And you definitely don't want to miss Phil's presentation at Hack Your Health. I just linked it in the live chat, but it's also in the description. So I went to Hack Your Health for the first time this year, and I think it currently is really the biggest, most attended, and most exciting carnivore convention there is. I highly recommend it because there are a lot of people who go there and they meet friends, they make friends, they meet people that they really look up to. Like, for example, Dr. Berry goes there, Dr. Baker goes there and speaks there. So it's just a great place to go to meet all of your inspirations, to get to converse with them, ask them questions, learn from them in person. And then you also get to mingle with the community and the people who attend. So I highly recommend it. And we will all be there. So that's exciting.
For sure.
Yeah. Awesome. Let's keep going. Heather, what are your thoughts about dry fasting? Raymond?
My thoughts about the dry fasting, first thought is get nourished first, learn to water fast first. And then when it starts being natural, where you're noticing as you're fasting that you're drinking less and less water, then that's a good sign to say that, hey, you may be ready to consider dry fasting. Do it slow. Do it, for example, overnight, where when you're sleeping, just don't drink any water. Some people tend to do that instead of sleeping that 8 hours. So that's my thoughts.
So, Raymond, I think you need to define what dry fasting is, because most people don't know.
Yes. Well, easy definition of dry fasting is just not drinking or eating. So anything that goes into your mouth, and that's the soft version of dry fasting. The hard version of dry fasting is no water, washing your hands, washing your hair, brushing your teeth, nothing like that. So that's the hard version. So we can go into a lot into that, but that's the basic definition.
Perfect. Darla. Welcome, Darla. Any thoughts on coconut oil? Obviously not an animal source, just wondering. Okay, raise your hand if you think coconut oil is recommended on carnivore or just recommended in general. Yeah, none of us are raising our hands for a reason, because there's better fats. Seriously, there's fats that are like 10 times better. Tallow, pork lard, butter. Why is there, maybe I'm missing something. Is there like a special benefit that you get from coconut oil that you don't get from animal fats?
Well, one reason you might consider coconut oil is if you had extremely non-responsive lymphatics. And coconut oil does have a lot of medium chain triglycerides, fatty acids, medium chain, the C10s and C12s. And for people when they're first on carnivore and have a lot of lymphedema, they actually might benefit from bridging with coconut oil because it's an inexpensive way to get medium chain fatty acids in the short term. Wouldn't do it for more than a month, but we talk a lot about interventions for people with severe lymphedema. And the reason being is if you have severe lymphedema, you can't absorb the small chain and large chain fatty acids, but the medium chains go directly from your gut into your bloodstream and can serve as a source of fatty acids when your body has a lot of healing to do. So that would be the only time I would recommend coconut oil and that would be a really rare thing, just because it would be much better to take the pure C10, C12 medium chain fatty acid supplements, but that's coming from coconut oil. But if you can't afford it, I mean, they are fairly expensive. So if you can't afford it, coconut oil might be a cheaper alternative. I saw someone today is from North Korea on the live stream, and I'm wondering, can you even get coconut oil in North Korea? I don't know. So I don't know if it's something available around the world. And other places in the world, you may not be able to get medium chain fatty acids isolated. I mean, in the United States, we can buy them, but some countries you may not be able to get them. But you might be able to get coconut oil. So, but long term, it's not a solution.
Okay.
So that's a very anti-carnivore answer, but it's a practical answer.
Yes, thank you for that. I learned something new. All right, Jennifer, welcome. I never cheat on carnivore. Yesterday, I had a cookie. Within 30 minutes, my entire body was inflamed and in pain. I could barely walk upstairs to go to bed. Oh, that sucks. Sorry, Jennifer. What causes such crazy reactions? I love this question because one of the things that carnivores are afraid of is, and actually people who like to nitpick on this lifestyle, they bring this up a lot. They'll say something like, oh, when you go carnivore, you can never turn back, because when you eat anything that's not carnivore, you bring it back in, you literally get so sick. But if you see it in that light, that's how you choose to see it. What I see is we literally rid ourselves from the toxins and the poisons that we have knowingly or unknowingly been eating for years and years and years of our life. So when we stop eating it, our body feels so good, because those toxins and poisons are not ruining our health anymore. But then when you go back to eating a cookie, of course it's going to feel terrible, because it goes back to feeling inflamed again, and it's going to be that much more sensitive. It's also why people, when they quit alcohol and they drink alcohol again, they get drunk off of like a sip. Todd, go ahead.
Did it hurt that bad before though, and we just got used to it, or does it hurt worse now?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I just 5 days ago, I tried garlic for the first time in 23 months because I was having shrimp, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna put some garlic in with the shrimp and see how that's doing. It's been 5 days, and I'm still walking around like an old man with swelled up knees.
Really?
Yeah, from 2
Aw.
tablespoons of garlic, and it's
Yeah.
fine because I wanted to see what it was like, but I'm that's been on, like, getting out of the truck, kind of going and walking slow and straightening my legs slow. I'm just sitting here going, was it always like this, or is it worse now? I don't remember. Like I was in so much pain and misery before. I don't know, but I can't tell if it hurts any worse or if it just feels worse because I felt so good for the last 23 months. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I think the other thing in this question is she asked what causes it. And, cookies could be a lot of things. Could be GMO flour, could be vegetable shortening in the cookie.
Seed
Because I don't know
oils.
what
Yeah.
kind of the vegetable shortening is basically a seed oil.
Mhm.
And who knows? But the problem with eating a cookie is you not only had the issue, but you don't have any more of a clue of what it was in the cookie that you reacted to. And that's why it's so important to see carnivore as an elimination diet and retest things and see if you respond to single ingredient foods with a reaction to it. And I've told the story before about my 95-year-old dad who had a autoimmune disease, had been on prednisone for 30 years, got him off prednisone with carnivore. And then he wanted to loosen up his diet a little bit. So we started introducing one new food a week. And he got into week 3 and ate onion, and all of his symptoms came back immediately. And we knew it was the onion.
Mhm.
And so he's eliminated everything in the onion family, which would be garlic, onion, shallots, all those things. And he still continues off prednisone. But after 30 years with an autoimmune disease, he reversed it. And we've been able to discover one food that he ate almost every day that was perpetuating it and why he wasn't getting better. So I would take, Jennifer, I would see this as an opportunity to eliminate and take the ingredients of that cookie and to try one ingredient a week and see what it was that you actually reacted to so severely. Because it's a great learning opportunity and it will keep you from falling in that trap again. Because it might be something you don't even think about. I mean, cookies can have so many ingredients in them.
Yep, exactly. Listen to Phil. Thank you for the answers. Okay. Rock and roll. I'm having great success on carnivore thanks to you all. Aw, that's exciting. Congrats. I never hear any of you talk about hot dogs. Are hot dogs a no-no on carnivore? Hot dogs with a bun are a no-no.
Right.
Now,
I eat hot dogs. Beef hot dogs.
Right, like burgers with no bun, obviously. But I think the reason why hot dogs aren't so loved in the community or talked about is because there's usually sugar, right? Sugar and other ingredients.
It depends on the hot dog.
Depends on the hot dog. Yeah.
Yeah, you can get very clean hot dogs, but there's can be a lot of garbage in hot dogs. But It's like anything else you eat. If it's a processed food, you got to know what's in it.
Yeah.
And if you stay with whole foods, when you eat the muscle of an animal, you got the muscle of an animal. When you eat a hot dog, who knows what's in it? Could be grains, could be seed oil, could be chemicals you can't even pronounce. But it depends on where you're buying it.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I don't touch any of that, the hot dogs and stuff, or much of the pressed or processed meats, because I don't really trust them anymore, what they're putting in it. They try so hard to hide what they put in stuff. It just makes you really doubt that they're doing it, you know? Right.
Todd, do you ever make sausage?
I do, yeah.
You make venison sausage, or what do you make
Yeah, I make
sausage out of?
elk sausage, and I don't really like deer sausage, but elk and buffalo, and then just beef.
Okay.
Yep, and pig. Yep.
Okay. So you put them in the casings and all.
Yep.
Okay. Anyway, have you posted that? Because that's something people don't realize that they can do.
No.
Is
I definitely will. I'm planning on doing it on a larger scale and making some videos, because it's really handy to do with a smoker. And it's kind of funny, because I just had this conversation with a place down the road doing it for scale, because they put, what happens if you sell the sausage on, like, for commercial use, is that they put corn syrup in it, because they need it to culture the bacteria. It feeds the bacteria, kind of like when you use, what's that stuff, yeast for like the bread, to rise type of stuff. They do that with that in the sausage to make it up like a preservative, right? And so they think that you can't make it without it. They won't even let you sell it commercially, I guess, without it. But that's why the pemmican works. I think that's why they do the carnivore. That's why we haven't really seen carnivore meat sticks yet, because they can do the carnivore pemmican, and they can do like the carnivore carnivore crisp and stuff, but they haven't been able to actually do like the smoked meat sticks. So we do have to take that on ourselves, but they're fantastic. I thought, well, they must not work, but no, when you do them yourself and you smoke them, they're fantastic. They just, according to the FDA or something, they say that it doesn't have much of a shelf life, so they won't let you sell it to the public that way. It's kind of strange, but no, it's fantastic. And they sell some. Well, Guga just Alyssa showed me a video of Guga making a smoker out of just a big pan. He took a giant chili kettle or whatever, like one of those like 6-gallon kettles. He just bought one of those, and he put tinfoil balls in the bottom. He put a rack on it, but he put the smoker pellets in the bottom, and then he put it on an electric burner, and the electric burner heated up the smoker pellets and smoked it inside of that pot. And I was like, well, that's pretty genius, because that looks like it worked. It'd be a super cheap way of making a smoker out of a pot,
That's so
wow.
cool.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Well, I gotta check out that video too. Todd, I was gonna ask, have you tried the Teton sausages ever from Costco?
I don't think I have them at our Costco. I haven't seen them. They just have the Green Valley Ranch ones or whatever.
Oh, okay. Then you probably don't have them at your Costco, because I see them a lot at Costco. I've tried it myself, and those are generally really recommended within the carnivore community, because it has spices. It does have spices, like quite a lot. That's why I don't eat it. When I tried it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so salty and so spiced. But that's my taste buds, and it will be different from yours. But a lot of carnivores do love Teton. Teton. You can find it at Costco. You can find it at any grocery store, more upscale Whole Foods grocery stores, I would say. Phil, were you going to say something? Oh, sorry.
No, I don't have those at my Costco. So we just have the chomps. So the only thing available.
Chomps are good.
I'm going to look again, because the Tetons are right there. So they're named after the Grand Tetons. They should be here. Yeah.
Yeah, you should have it. Weird.
Yeah, it should, because the Grand Tetons are right there. So should have it. All right. Okay. Do we have time for the last drawing?
Absolutely. By the way, I am just sitting here in a hotel because I'm in Canada with family, and they're out for dinner, and I already ate. So I'm doing this live stream until they come back. You guys don't have to stay though. I'm really enjoying it. So just
For
a heads up.
sure.
Okay.
Right on. All right.
Let's
One SBG drawing right here.
Okay. Congratulations to Lily.
Oh,
Yay,
Lily.
Lily. Do we
That's
know Lily?
awesome.
And when did
Lily
she ask a
H.
question early?
Yeah, she did. Yep.
Awesome. Well, if you're still here, you won. And just take a screenshot, email that screenshot to sbgchallenge@gmail.com.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you and congrats.
Congratulations, and can't wait. Say hi to us in the SBG and when you see us.
I mean, anyone who joins and comes into the community, you have to say hi. Okay, you will be taken care of, but you do have to say hi. You can't just join and never show up, which a lot of people do, surprisingly. Oh, Raymond, are you leaving?
You're muted, Raymond. So we can't hear any of your sweet by and bys.
Yes. Well, thank you. I want to say, yeah, I'm gonna head out. Thank you so much.
You rock, Raymond.
Awesome.
Thank you for joining us. That was awesome.
All right.
Have a good night.
Bye. Good night.
I'm gonna get off too. I enjoyed.
Love you, Phyllis. Okay. I'm so glad you came. That was awesome. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. See you, Phyllis. All right.
Awesome.
Whoa, that's a whole lot of screen.
There you go.
Wait, we gotta find something better. Hold on. There we go.
There we go.
That's a little more suitable. I can't stand looking at that much of my face.
That's like Instagram reel format.
It is.
Yeah.
I wanted to post one thing real quick while I got it up here.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
She's not on tonight, so she won't. This will be pain free.
So my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. Next time you have to remind me to open up with this. But this, let's talk a little bit about what we're looking at right here. That Todd is share screening. I'll say a few words. Lindy's story, by the way, is one of the most just jaw-dropping stories. It absolutely has that shock factor, because if you don't know her story yet, she's dropped 500 pounds. How? Just by going carnivore. And so you can imagine when somebody drops 500 pounds like that, even if it's over a few years, you will have a lot of loose skin, right? And so Lindy has always dreamed to have skin removal surgery so that she can live a better life for herself. But she recently was just about to cancel her surgery because she can't afford it, until Todd came along and did this wonderful thing. Okay, so us as a community, we can come together and hopefully make this happen for Lindy. And Todd, if you want to say a few words about why you did this.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, Lindy's lost like 520 plus pounds. Yeah. And, I'm a man at 5'10" and I've lost 300 pounds. And Lindy's, I don't know, she's got to be 6 inches shorter than me, and she's got a woman's frame, and she's lost 500 pounds. And I'm just saying, I know how much the skin already bothers me. Like, I know how much of a hindrance it is with me. And I look at Lindy and go, good Lord, what a fighter. Because she's putting up with that massive amount of weight and skin that's just pulling on her and weighing her down. And she, of course, Lindy won't say anything, and that's why we did this without her approval, because she's she would not let us do this. But she's done all the work. She's lost the 500 plus pounds. She's been nothing but just determined this last 3 years, and unfortunately their country and the medical system doesn't call this, insurance doesn't cover it, and it's very expensive because it's considered an elective surgery. I don't know how this is an elective surgery, to be honest with you, when you get that big, because there's this isn't a vanity thing. This is life altering amount of loose skin that's just really holds you back and is dangerous. So to me, I mean, this is a no-brainer. I can't think of, there's so many things out there you can give money to, but to me, she's done the work, and I can't imagine somebody that deserves it more,
I agree. And Phil, maybe you can put a few words in about maybe how life-changing this would be for someone who's lost 500 pounds.
Well, just consider the fact that her doctor estimates she has 42 pounds of excess skin.
Mm.
Just let that sink in for what 42 pounds of excess skin would be. And so this abdominal surgery to take the excess, Lindy's telling me it's estimated it'll be 24 pounds of skin taken off in one operation. So think about that would be about the upholstery of that you sit on in your car. And think about taking the upholstery off your car seat and folding it up and putting it around your waist and walking around with it every day, and what that would be like. So I hope that helps people. And by the way, these donations are in Australian dollars. And there's a really good exchange rate between the US and Australia right now. So I was surprised that my donation when it came onto the credit card was much less than I had intended to give, because I thought I was given in US dollars and it ended up in Australian dollars. So it's a great opportunity to help someone out who is just such a great heart. And this is kind of life-changing. And she has been such an inspiration to so many people. And we just love her to death. Limitless Lindy.
We do. Yes, Limitless Lindy.
I'll put
that. And
here's I'm putting the link in the chat again. Also, it's in the description of the videos as well.
Perfect. All right. So by the way, if you guys cannot contribute, all you have to do is just share it on your socials, share it within your maybe Facebook page or whatever groups you're in, carnivore groups. We definitely do appreciate it. And Lindy, I'm sure will eventually, after she gets done with being mad at you, Todd.
she's gonna ship me when she gets here to Montana for sure, but that's all right. I'll take it. She's got it. She deserves this for sure.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Okay, Dorothy, I'm excited to learn meal plans and all I need to learn from SPG community. I think she put this when it was when we were talking about January. So come into the SPG. This is the best time, honestly. Numbers really seriously is just so many people coming in trying to be carnivore, right? As expected, because it is World Carnivore Month, and Dr. Baker will be leading this one. So it's a great opportunity. Okay, link is in the description. What a great panel. Thank you all for keeping us so inspired. Thank you, Funky Lollipop. Oh, I wanted to share this one. Todd, you should read this from Doug, who's in the live stream all of today.
For sure. Wow, I actually feel my depression lifting during this broadcast. Maybe I need community. I'm pretty much by myself. Maybe I should join SPG, but I work 2 jobs. Man, you need it for sure, in my opinion. I thought the same thing, but man, I can't, I spend so much time here. This is my home away from home. I spend, probably 20 some hours a week here, and it keeps me carnivore. It really does. And it keeps my mind straight and everything that I'm learning. It's 100% the reason why I truly don't think I have any food addictions anymore, which is the first time I've ever been able to say that in 29 years. So, man, I think you owe it to yourself to give it a shot. I know it's hard to fit in, but any kind of influence that you can have from people that are breaking trail and can be an inspiration to you in this community, I think is invaluable to success. So I would definitely give it a shot because, I haven't had depression or anxiety in 23 months. So I definitely recommend it.
That's amazing. And Doug, I see all of your live chat messages tonight. And I have to say, thank you for being so active and engaging with us tonight. And I really hope you come back to these live streams, because if you don't have the time or you can't currently join SPG for whatever reason, these live streams are free and they happen every week. And that's why we do them, is to create community on YouTube for free. So join these live streams, and whenever you want to come into the community. Can't wait to meet you.
for sure.
Thanks for that, Todd. Okay. Oh, Raymond's not here. All right. Let's do just maybe like 2 more because my family's back. So I will have to wrap this up. Danny, would you guys consider answering a whole lot more questions than you normally do? Like pick a bunch of the free questions and answer them in 10 to 20 seconds each if it is possible. So like rapid fire. What do you
I
think?
like it.
Yeah, sounds good.
We can definitely do that. We could try a Friday night live stream where we specifically and only do rapid fire. But how would we approach who answers what?
We'd have to almost set out categories for each person, and 85% of them are going to go to Phil.
No, I have an idea. I have an idea.
Okay.
We mark the questions, and so we see them as starred, right? So we could do a Family Feud type of thing where each of us have just pick a question from the top 25, because as Todd is starring them, and we could pick out ones, and we go around in a circle. You answer one, I answer one, Todd answer one, Raymond answer one, and we pick the question we want to answer.
Yeah,
and sure, that works.
That could go very quick. In fact, we should try it for about 5 minutes. I would
actually love
see
to.
What happens.
Okay,
5 minutes. You want to try it? Okay. Oh, here's another idea from me, Terry. It's a great idea. I'll put it on the screen. What if we have everybody put the name they want to answer their question? Have them put the name in front of their question.
Okay, but don't ask me about medical things because you don't want a medical answer from a guy in a cowboy hat.
Assuming that these people already know you guys, right? They followed you, they know your stories, your fortes, and all of that. So, let's try it. You want to try it? Okay. So we're gonna take questions fresh. Put the name and put the question.
Now there's some questions. There's some questions in the star category that we've already answered.
Right.
Is there a way to get them out of the queue?
Yeah.
There is. I'm doing it now.
Okay.
Yeah, you just unstar it. But let's see if we get any questions coming in. If you're still in this live stream, by the way, we're 2 hours, 41 minutes in. Thank you so much. Like for you to put that much time to hang out with us, that really means a lot.
Okay. So I'll take one. How
Steven,
would one
right
who's had okay.
Oh, there's one for you.
I was just going to okay. All right.
All right, I can read it.
Patients with fatty. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, there you go. Okay. So Steven says for Phil, are you aware of any patients with fatty acid malabsorption that continued on carnivore for 9+ months without correction, resulting in various deficiencies in vitamin A, D, E, and K?
I do not.
10 to 20 seconds, Phil.
We have somebody in the group that has a inborn error of fatty acid malabsorption, and I don't have a good answer for you. That's a lot more complicated than we can do in 20 seconds. So, but my answer is we have one in the gang.
Okay. Would you happen to remember the name, like last name, first name? Okay.
No, I don't. But I would think that it would depend if it's an inborn error of metabolism, which means something that you were born with that can't be changed, or if it's an acquired. And if it's acquired, I would expect it to resolve. And it might take a year or two, but I would expect it to resolve.
Okay. Hopefully that helps or gives you hope, Stephen. Okay. This is for me. Is cream milk optimal? Cream milk, like high fat whole milk or cream top milk? It depends. My answer is it depends. If it's raw, that's optimal. If it's pasteurized, that is not optimal in my book. You definitely want to go with raw because it's easier to digest. Those amazing probiotics and enzymes are still alive. It's not killed off by the heat. So I recommend realmilk.com to find raw dairy products and farmers near you. Okay. Cranky Carnivore. What's his name again? I know you said his name
John.
earlier, Todd.
John.
Okay, by
His
the way,
name's
John said he's going to Arizona, so we get to meet John.
We'll see you there, John.
See you there, John. Okay. Bella, how much butter should I eat on top of 20 chicken wing pieces? I don't know. Because what are your goals, John? Right? And what are you trying to heal? That's my answer, is really, I don't know. But if I got more details from you, which I'm sure I can at when we go to Arizona, I can give you my thoughts. But honestly, my answer is eat as much butter as your body craves. That's my answer right there. There's a reason why it craves for it. Monica is asking Todd, how did you prime and fast?
Well, I cussed at Raymond at first, and then I did the SBG calendar, and I ended up having to prime for 6.5 months, but it took about 2 months for my appetite to really open up, and then I started eating 7 pounds of meat a day for the next 4 months, roughly 4.5 months. Everything healed up, and then like a switch, I knew I was ready to start fasting. I tried several times in there to see if I was ready to fast, and I was not. My appetite was just screaming for food. And then like a switch, it just flipped, and I started doing fasting. And then it was an absolute mind awakening moment to see what it was like to do a nourish fast when and then going into it. I mean, when I was in the middle of priming, I couldn't do a 48-hour fast all of a sudden because my metabolism got so high. And then when my body was ready to fast, I ended up doing 12 7-day fasts over the summer with no problem. So a nourish fast is incredible.
Well said. Bravo. Phil, this is from Steven again. He says, do you remember if that member had any resolution?
Well, they had an inborn error of metabolism. So it's something they're born with. So that does not resolve. But if it's acquired, which means you weren't born with it and you didn't get it until later in life, it's probably due to a lymphatic issue of being able to, your lymphatics may not be functioning normal. And Todd and Lindy talk about that almost every week on their live stream. So I would refer you to their channel for that.
Perfect.
I want to answer this one.
Go ahead.
Make sure you ask Todd about cooking steak frozen from the air fryer. I just wanted to say, because everybody's been giving me a hard time on our live stream and in the chew because I adamantly disagree with cooking meat from frozen in the air fryer.
Oh.
But anyways, so they're all she's trying to make my OCD go off. So I just wanted to say, Violet, I hope you step on Legos barefoot tonight. That's all.
Is Violet from your live stream?
I think she's in her live stream, and also I think she might even be in the chew. You have to remind me, but she definitely knows. Tim is always giving me a hard. Tim and Alyssa are always giving me a hard time about cooking steak frozen.
I don't cook my meat frozen in my air fryer, and I use my air fryer every day.
Yeah. No, and that's what I'm against it because it traps the water, and they're all giving me a hard time.
Oh. Awesome.
For people that have high histamine issues, though, it's a good solution.
For sure. It is.
Oh, yeah, because it's extremely fresh.
For sure.
Oh, actually, there's a histamine question. I'll take this real quick. How to avoid histamines in meat. Do you eat fresh cut meat or frozen? Yeah, like Phil said, eat it frozen, cook it from frozen, buy your meat frozen, or just buy your meat non-aged. And a great source for that, I learned from my friend Rebecca Heichman, is Billy Doe Meats. I'll type it in the chat for you guys. All right, Phil from Tina. Will carnivore help epigastric hernia?
Well, it won't resolve a hernia. So if you hernia is a defect in the abdominal wall, and but if you go carnivore, you can reduce inflammation a lot. And if you end up having surgery for the hernia, you're probably going to get much better results if you've been carnivore for a year than if you have a lot of inflammation in your body, because a lot of these epigastric hernias dehisce which means they break open after they're repaired. But you want to get your body optimal and make sure you're getting enough protein and you got inflammation out of your body so you can do proper healing after surgery.
Awesome. Thank you, Phil. All right, this one is next. I'm just going down the list here from when we requested for fresh questions because we're doing this. Do you guys like it, by the way? How do you feel with this new format? It's pretty good, huh? I actually really like it. Especially when the question is requesting for the specific person on the panel. I like it. How do you guys like it watching the live chat? Live stream. Let us know. Nikki, why would raw egg whites hurt someone's stomach versus just the yolk? Phil, do you want to take that?
Yeah, so there's different proteins in egg white. A lot of people respond with inflammation to egg whites. And most egg allergies are actually to the whites as well. So we see quite a few people, and I think Todd actually only eats the yolks.
I do.
So
yeah.
Todd, why don't you, this is probably better for you to answer why you found that.
Yeah, I don't know what I don't know the reason behind it, but I do know that most people are, some people say that the egg whites actually have a little defense mechanism in it. I don't know if that's real or not, but I do know, as a person that was eating 36 to 54 eggs a day for a very long time for hormone health, I was just getting inflamed and it was causing me to retain fluid, and I was just having inflammation. And so somebody told me to try getting rid of the egg whites, and sure enough, I have zero inflammation and zero reaction when I get rid of the egg whites and just have the yolks. I don't have a single inflammation problem. I was even breaking out a little bit when I was having all those egg whites. And I haven't had a single problem. And for 4 months, I would take 54 raw egg yolks every day. I would drink 54 raw egg yolks every day for testosterone, and not a single problem. But before, when I was having even 18 egg whites in a day, I was getting inflammation from it.
And do you separate those egg yolks yourself?
Yeah, I do.
You buy fresh eggs? Yeah.
Yep, I do. It's a pain in the butt. I get a big bowl. I crack all, because I do them 18 at a time. And I get a big bowl. I crack 18 eggs in it, and then I have a big flat spoon that's about like that. It's like a flat ladle.
Like a slotted? Okay.
Yeah. And I just take them and I take the yolks out. It's the fastest way I've figured out how to do them in bulk.
Oh, that's smart. Awesome. Thank you, Todd. This next one, I saw it just now. I lost it. Where is Trisha? There we go. For you, Phil. 63 female, been carnivore since July 2024. Keto for 2 years. Before that, I want to know how I should increase my salt intake to try to decrease my blood pressure without medication. She meant without medication.
Or, that's hard to know. That is something is so variable from person to person. But I'm sorry. I don't want to give a specific answer to this because that's a little too prescriptive for me.
That's okay.
I think you should increase your salt intake. Most people aren't getting enough. And if you're going to try to get off your blood pressure meds, work with your doctor. And I always recommend get on a regimen where you check your blood pressure morning, noon, and bedtime and track it. Make a small incremental change with your salt intake. And you do a week, doing it 3 times a day for a week, then make an incremental change and do another week and see what happens. Because over time, but you've got to write it down. You got to write down what the incremental change is, and you got to record what your blood pressure is. And put it on graph paper is a great way to do it because you can write the numbers on graph paper based on the values so that you can look at the eyeball it. So if it's 100, it's here. If it's 80, it's here, and write the top number and the bottom number. And as you go across, you will create a graphic representation. If you know how to use Excel, you can do it even more sophisticated, but you can just do it with handwritten blood pressure and do one across for the morning blood pressure, one for the noon blood pressure, and one for the bedtime blood pressure, because you want to see the trend for that time period. Most people put all three of those together, and it's not as helpful as dividing it out by the time period. And then write down what the intervention is above that and just go across a week at a time and see what happens. But you should be able to figure this out. But that would be my methodology.
Thank you, Phil. Very helpful. Okay, so Phil, Todd, and I, we have this tradition that we like to end our live streams a couple seconds under 3 hours. So we are like a couple minutes away. So that means we must end in no longer than 4 minutes from now. So let's try to rapid fire as many as possible. Unless, Todd, did you want to announce something?
No, I just noticed that there's a pretty long chat here going on in the chat about the eggs comment. And yes, the egg yolks work to raise my testosterone. I haven't gotten it rechecked lately, but I mean, it was in the tank. It was 130, total testosterone was 137. Last I checked it, I got it checked one time 4 months ago, and it was 588. And so I don't know what it is now, but I've even kind of laid back on it because just from natural morning signaling, I noticed that everything seems to be raised just fine. So my body hasn't been craving it lately. So I've actually been doing more of the lion diet, but yeah, it worked fantastically, actually. Incredible.
That's so cool. Yay. Raymond would be proud. Awesome. Okay, this is for you, Todd. 166 days carnivore, currently stalled for a little 6 weeks. I've gone from 268 to 231 and floated from 231 to 238 last 6 weeks. Currently, too bad, 3,000 calories, 70 to 30 fat to protein. Do you think OMAD would help?
Matt, I honestly don't think so. Actually, usually when I'm stalled, eating actually helps. It's really crazy. I'm not even kidding, but every time I've had to stall, I had to eat through it. Fasting through it makes it way worse, and it stresses you out, and it takes way longer. And I've tried it so many times that I have to, and it's in our head to try to kind of stubborn our way through it and kind of, fast and undercut. No, it's, man, until you prime and you understand what a nourished fast feels like, it's really hard to explain to you what a bad fast feels like. But what I realized when I finally felt what good fasting felt like is that I'd never had a good fast before in my life. I was actually fasting with a really slow metabolism before, and it was just causing me problems. So no, I would eat through it. I mean, perfect example, because it still was stuck in my head. I started craving seafood the other day, which I've never craved in my life. And I also started craving butter, which I stopped eating about 7-8 months ago because I wanted tallow and the butter was making me inflamed. All of a sudden I started eating 2 to 3 pounds of shrimp a day, floating in 8 ounces of butter. And I thought, well, I'm going to get inflamed from this because all the butter. I lost 11 pounds. I just fell off like nothing. Yeah. So all I can tell you is nourishment is way, if we nourish the body figures everything else out itself. I haven't yet to have that fail me on a stall. The eating through it's always been the answer for me.
Love that answer. Amazing. Okay, a couple more. 2 minutes. Violet, Bella, how long were you carnivore before you lost your Buddha belly? So, man, I have to think about this because I initially gained weight. I want to say 6 months. I will say 6 months because my initial weight gain lasted for a couple months. But even through that weight gain, my bloat started to come down like a lot. So with consistency and with trusting the process and really nourishing, like Todd said, making sure I'm nourished, the Buddha belly went away. Okay. Right, sure. Mike. Bella, was dating weird on carnivore and fasting? When I went carnivore, soon after I went carnivore, I met Matt, who is now my husband. So I really didn't date much. I dated Max, and then we got married. So that was fun. Okay. This is for Todd, and this is the last one we can do. Todd, how do I get off diet soda? Withdrawals, cravings are hard.
So yeah, they're the worst ones I've had. That was my worst addiction by far. I used basically I used sparkling mineral water, electrolytes, and lemon juice as a bridge for 5 weeks. But I ate my way through the cravings, and I had to get really strict on having nothing else, just BBB and E, and I had to eat my way through the cravings. And after 5.5 weeks, it just dropped off, and then I have stayed away from it ever since. And so that worked for me. I really think you got to eat your way through the cravings, and you have to not have any of the sweet palettes or the artificial sugars, because that's just going to keep you addicted. So don't try to bridge yourself with artificial sweeteners. You have to get away from the sweet taste altogether. But that worked for me.
Amazing. Let me just help Nikki here because I saw that she asked it a lot. So Bella, was your hubby strict animal-based Paul Saladino version and got the result he got from the tests you guys took from your last FID? And is he planning on becoming carnivore? So I would say that Max was animal-based Paul Saladino version, correct, for 90% of the time. 10% of the time, he is eating whatever he wants. He really is. And I'm not going to be the person who's going to tell him or shame him when he eats those things. That's his life, that's his body, that's his choice. And after we got the scans, the videos on my YouTube channel, he is absolutely like, that was such a wake up thing for him. And I didn't even expect it. Right. But when he saw those results, and again, who cares about numbers at the end of the day? It's about how you feel. He after that video, he literally went back to strict carnivore. He's currently on strict carnivore. Okay. Now, I promise you, when we have these holiday festivities, he will indulge because that's what he does. Okay. So I think he actually needs SPG now that I'm talking about it.
Dude, Max, come to the community, Max.
All right.
I'm waiting for him to come to me every week, and I'm going to deal with him one-on-one.
Well, he's afraid of you, Phil.
He's got to take the step. So I've
he
invited
needs some
him.
accountability. Well, that's nice.
So.
Thank you. Yeah, that's my answer there. Hopefully that helps, Nikki. Okay. Final thoughts, Phil and Todd. What would you guys like to wrap up with?
Go ahead, Todd.
Man, well, I just appreciate you guys coming every week. And, I think that this is how we're going to get carnivore mainstream, which is going to free people from the standard American diet and the drugs, which has always been, my fight here. That's why I'm here, is that's what I want to see. So I appreciate you guys making this community what it is, because without you guys showing up, we're not going to make the waves that we need to do. So
true.
So for most of us, we're heading into some type of holiday season, be it Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or whatever it is you celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
This is a time to really be around loved ones and to enjoy a little relaxed pace. Usually work slows down for everybody. And it's time to make a positive change for yourself and do it for you. So many people fall to peer pressure of family members or friends, and they fall to I call it the siren call of, okay, a little bit won't hurt you, or, and tempt you with things, and go into every social situation with a plan. Most plans are eating more food that you've made before you go to a social event. Bring food to a social event that what it's sourced like. I laughed as somebody was going on about hot dogs with human remains in them, and that's been going on since Upton Sinclair wrote The Jungle back in the 1920s, and many of us read it in high school. But yeah, no surprise there. But find foods that are good for you, that will help you to not be tempted, to not fall to the carb addictions. Enjoy yourself, And if you do slip, make it a 1-day slip. Don't say after the holidays are over or the first of the year, I'm going to start over. Just keep yourself from going there. If you slip, forgive yourself, get back on the track, and tomorrow's a new day. And don't wait till next week or next month or next year to make some good changes for your health.
Well said. Thank you, Phil, for that. Thank you, Todd, for your final thoughts. My final thoughts are, I love you guys. Like, I really see all of your sweet, supportive messages in the live chat. I try my best to reply to as many whenever I post a new video. It's just physically impossible to reply to all. But I love you guys. And I really appreciate your support. I really appreciate that you guys even come to these live streams and interact with us, and that you come back week after week after week. This is why I show up, because of this community. You guys are so awesome. I can tell you right now, when I was in the vegan community, felt nothing like this. It was so different. It was so different. So I'm very grateful that I landed in this one, and I'm here to stay. So thanks for the support. Happy holidays. Sending love to all of you guys. And we will see you next week at our next live stream. Love you all.
Yeah.
Thank
Love you.
you.
Take care.
See you.